Brilliant. Everybody is here. Let's get the show started. A little bit about the event layout. So in a couple of minutes, I'll request Malin to join me on stage to get it started with a very interesting discussion on investing. And I'll just stop it there because interesting how we'll kind of unruffle the investing part. Venture studios maybe will be focusing, not telling too much before. After that, we'll have a panel on rethinking ecosystems. Very interesting collection of perspectives. Founders building ecosystems in different spaces. So I think we'll try to find a red thread around that. It'll be great if we can do that in today's session. After that, we'll move into a founder spotlight panel. Again, a focus on some of the founders building. What we are trying to do is to try to bring a collection of perspectives from different angles. So there are some founders here who are building startups, some are building alternative businesses like businesses, service-based businesses, impact-related businesses. So we'll try to find again a red thread around that. And we'll end the evening with an extended pitch marathon session where we have some of our VC friends, investors, angel investors, and startup experts joining us. So that's the layout of the evening. I'll stop there and request Malin to join me on stage now. Amazing that you could join us, Malin, and we are very keen on learning from your experience. But before we go in there, tell us about yourself and our community about yourself. What got you interested in investing and your background?
Yeah, and first and foremost, thank you so much for being here. And I just want to say the action in the chat has been great. So please keep that up because I love talking to Naimul, but I would much rather talk to all of you. So whenever I'm saying things, if you don't agree with me or if you want to learn more, please keep the chat active. I love that. And yeah, as for me, my name is Molin and I'm the CEO of Daya Ventures, which is a venture studio building startups within women's health. And what got me into investing is actually it's a bit funny because when you're in venture capital, I don't know if this is a woman thing, but usually people will ask me, do you come from the tech side or do you come from the finance side? And I will always have to respond that I don't come from either. I come from the women's side. So my academic background is actually gender studies. So, I mean, I thought I would probably become like a politician or a librarian or something, which is the common career path for gender studies major. But no, I went into venture capital in tech. So a bit of a jump from what I initially thought I would do. So I really didn't get interested in investing at all, to answer your question, which might sound funny for someone who's worked both in VC and as an angel and now is running a venture studio. And why I say that is I'm not interested in investing per se. I am very much interested in making women's lives better. That has been my goal since I think I was like 12 and watched Anne of Green Gables. And I was like, yes, and investing and technology, like money, technology, and entrepreneurship are three instruments of great power. And there are things that can really push the needle very fast, very far. So for me, it's like political action for the impatient. So if I was more patient and didn't have raging ADHD, I might have become a politician or something. But for me, that's too slow. And startups, money, and technology are things that can really make a change very, very fast. So I'm just seeing these things as tools for the end goal, which is to make women's lives better.
Amazing. Like what an interesting background. And I love it that you define that tech and finance and then you brought in a third angle. I think when you know, innovation happens when we break the molds. Because a mold is something where you are trying to replicate a process over and over and over again, and it kind of gets perfected. When you break the mold and try to build something new, it just happens from a very different perspective. So, love the perspective you're bringing into the venture space. I think we need more such initiatives, more such power or thought processes behind kind of transforming the industry. And I love it when you talked about that politics is too slow. Obviously, like politics is so ingrained in all what we are doing and how we are living together as species, and it's so out of sync with the needs that we have as people. So great perspectives. Let's move a little bit to Daya Ventures. What's the big vision there?
Yeah, so Daya Ventures is a venture studio. So people will always ask me, okay, so you're a venture fund. And I'm like, no, we're not a venture fund. Okay, so you're a
Okay.
startup. And I'm like, yeah, we are a startup, but our product is also other startups. And it gets people very confused. And it's funny because I just came back from the States last week, and I saw there are some people in the States in the chat. And first and foremost, I'm very curious. Now my ADHD brain is going all the way, but I'm very curious what time zone this is for the people in the US right now. But over there, the venture studio model is quite established as an asset class and as a model. But over here it isn't. So I'm just gonna explain exactly what it is. We build startups from scratch. So it's basically, it came about a lot of frustration from the way I've been working previously. So I used to work with commercialization of research through a VC. And then it's very much a tech push. So someone has a technology that they've created through and research in the university. They come to you and you try to find an application area. That feels very backwards, especially when you're a woman and you're like, I'm sitting here and trying to figure out problems for this technology to solve, instead of just when you have this wide open space of women's health where we desperately need innovation. So then I moved into angel investing, and I was like, okay, now I have full mandate. I can put my money wherever I want to, and I'm gonna put it into deep tech, femtech startups. Couldn't find any. This was 2 years ago. I could find some, but not enough to be a full kind of asset class or a full thesis. And then I basically, that impatience came around, and I was like, so should I sit and wait for a founder to have a eureka moment and find the right co-founder and then come to me and I can fund them? So even if I can be a very early angel, which I usually am, like I will invest first ticket only investor, but that's still a bit late in the journey of a company. And I kind of felt like I got impatient, and I also felt like this type of innovation isn't really built for lone heroes having a eureka moment in the shower. Like it's a lot more of a holistic solutions that are needed. So we started Daya, where we actually build the deal flow that I would have wanted to invest in. So we start with a problem. I say we're a very problem-oriented organization. So the first one we did, as a good example, was birth injuries. So we had the statistics on how many women got tearing and how many women were still suffering from birth-related injuries over 12 months after giving birth. So we had a problem statement, and we wanted to find a way of, can we solve this in some way or make it less prominent? So what we do is we do interventions on areas. So we did intervention on birth injuries, and then we invite relevant stakeholders. So we invite researchers who've published on the topic. So I say I work with the similar amount of researchers now as I did when I worked at the university. But now it's problem first, and then we go out and finding the relevant researchers, doctors, other clinicians. So for this one, it was a lot of midwives, OBGYNs, even an anesthesiologist. Sometimes it's clinics that are specifically interested in a specific topic. Patient advocacy groups, so the people who have lived the problem, and then we always have our tech team, so engineers and designers. And an intervention is just a fancy word for a bunch of workshops. So we do a bunch of workshops with all of these perspectives in the room and really try to dig into the problem from the patient perspective and the clinical perspective, and then always trying to figure out, is there a space where a tech solution could come in and solve some of these issues? And if there is, and we get buy-in from, if it's a consumer application, then okay, the patient advocacy groups, if we build this, will you try it? If it's a clinical application, okay, the clinics, if we build it, will you be our test bed? Will you be our pilot customer? If we get a buy-in, then we build it. So we build the prototype, We do the first IP work, so
Mhm.
pathway to patent, freedom to operate, all that jazz. We have applied for one patent, but that's not our normal modus operandi. Usually we'll just do pathway to patent. We do brand, so name, logo,
Okay.
first website, social media, things like that. And then we source the founders. So we find the founders that we think is the best people to take this to market. So really, we've kind of built our process around mitigating three main risks. So we want to mitigate the market risk and have early buy-in. We want to mitigate the tech risk. So we build a prototype, we build the infrastructure tech-wise, so we know it's going to scale the way we want it to. And three, we source the founders that we think is the best fit to bring this to market. So there's nothing worse as an angel when you meet a team or you meet an entrepreneur and you really like the idea, but I just don't think this entrepreneur is the one to execute on this. And then any investor would say you can't invest in that case, even if it seems like the best idea. And you can't separate the founder from the idea. And that can keep me up at night because I really love the idea, but I can't invest in the startup. Now I don't have that problem because I get to, or not me, we have recruiters who are a lot better at that than I am, but we get to actually recruit who we think is the best fit for this specific startup and their kind of go-to-market strategy and their technology and kind of their core clinical application.
I love this. I love the model because I think the traditional VC is structured around the entire thinking is structured around someone coming up with a very well-defined idea and then having proof of traction, proof of team, and proof of concept, and then you bring it and kind of back it up with money. Okay. I think something very close. Antler has been here. Magnus Grimland has been here in a couple of talks with us in previous Nutty Ventures events at the very early stage of Antler because they completely disrupted the industry because they went in with a model of collision. So they collided tech and non-tech, and then I basically, in my mind, I consider Antler as a popcorn factory that ideas pop. And then I think I love it when you talked about that intervention. So it's a great way of kind of attacking innovation from a very different perspective and then finding all the right collaborators to make the idea go in the first build that you create.
We see it as
Um,
impact-oriented innovation. So
yeah,
it's like, here's a problem. Let's bring together the right people in one room to solve it. So it's very, very satisfying way of working. It's very therapeutic way of working.
going forward with the AI coming in so rapidly, so fast, mind-boggling or blinding, for example, at times, do you think tech itself is still a differentiator between startups?
I would say no. I mean, obviously it's not black and white, and the
Mm,
more deep tech you go and the more we don't do therapeutics, but the more kind of deep tech you go, obviously it still matters. But one thing that we've really had to change around in the last kind
mm,
of just 3 months is that obviously we're trying to help our startups get to market fast. So for
mm,
the first 1.5 years, we focused a lot on collaborations on technology. So how to get, create great tech very fast. And then now you have like Lovable and Cursor and Replit and, all of these solutions have really come up and made that technology and product is no longer a moat in the same sense as it used to be. So right now it's really, we've had to focus a lot more on go-to-market strategies and
mhm,
distribution
mhm,
channels because it's really going to be about getting to market fast and setting up those channels. That's going to be most startups moats. And I think that in the global perspective, in the Nordics, we're a
mhm,
little bit bad at this because we're quality thinking people. So we want things to be perfect before we put it out there. We're very much techies in the startup
mhm,
space. And that means that we have a little bit of a handicap in this mindset of
mhm,
getting to
mhm.
market fast. So I think that's also a cultural shift where we need we're going to have to shift that mindset because now with all these no code and like the AI generated
True, true.
tools, product is no longer going to be your moat because you could pretty much plug into Lovable and say copy this app and it will do it in 2 seconds. It's we really need to work on distribution as the main differentiator, I think.
Well, I think that's an interesting point, and that probably will be the defining moment for the next generation of founders that are coming in. I think that kind of goes. It's not what we are best at Nordics. I think in Nordics we are best at building stuff like the tech side, and then kind of and the if we go to US, that's the hustle side. So I think it could be a cultural shift for how Nordic startup building happens, the way AI evolves, because product will no longer be a differentiator, as you're saying. Great, we can,
Market fast and then data. You know, the ones who's get to go to market fast and build the up
yeah.
distribution, they're gonna gather data, and then data is gonna be the new moat. That's my, come back to me in a year and see if I was wrong or right. But that's what I think it's going to be.
So data is the new mode. We have questions popping up. Please keep asking questions. And Malin, if you have time, maybe stay back for 5-10 minutes, and you can physically answer some of these questions on tech on the chat that we have. Larson has a question. I'll pick up one that came in. How do you think we get more women to start a project that eventually becomes a startup?
From my experience, women are, not just my experience, I mean, my experience, but also data shows that, women, we are two things when it comes to innovation. So impact oriented, like if you look at Ung Företagsamhet in Sweden, like all the UF companies created by women are usually, I think 98% of them were impact focused, which was not the case for when the boys or men, I don't know what you call teenagers, boys, I guess, that just sounds weird, do it. And we want community. Like, we are not the kind of the trope of the lone hero sitting in his garage with his two friends building something to make a lot of money. That's just not how women do innovation. So I think we need, I think this is great, community, but also, finding more physical spaces, digital spaces and physical spaces for women to build together, and then having a clear impact mandate. So impact doesn't mean charity. It just means that the foundation of entrepreneurship should be to solve problems and create value. And if those problems are impact related, I mean, I would feel like that's usually more important questions than when you're solving, small things for businesses that have no kind of positive impact. So I think that also reframing entrepreneurship, I almost didn't accept my first job at Thomas Ventures, because I was like, this is not a culture fit. Like, give me 3 glasses of wine and I'm a communist. Like, I'm not going to work in venture capital in tech. Like, that's not a culture fit at all. Because I thought entrepreneurs were just, I want to make big money and, kind of rule the world. That was my perception. And when I started working in it, it was like, no, it's actually so much more about impact and making the world a better place. And I think women are much more overrepresented in NGOs and civil society that are basically doing the same thing as startups. You're solving problems, you're creating value with very limited resources. So if you've built a really strong NGO, come see me, because I think you're an amazing entrepreneur. But I don't think those women see themselves as entrepreneurs, because it's just the framing of what an entrepreneur is. But I think there's huge overlap between the kind of transferable knowledge and between civil society and startups. So I don't know if that made sense, but
no, that made perfect sense. I love it, and I could so much relate to it. What you said, the impact and the community side, coming from female founders, totally feel it, and I think that is a very clear description that you brought in. And I think there's a lot of issue with the narratives. The words have a lot of power. The way a sector is defined, like NGO is defined as an organizational structure. Like, we need to go back and probably look at things from a very different perspective. But Malin, great energy in the room. almost unstoppable. Thank you for taking the time out for the keynote fireside. It was really on fire. So
Oh,
thank you
this
for.
is so nice. I love talking about what we do at Daya. I love talking about female founders. And I'm going to stay around and listen to all the superheroes coming next. And then I'm just going to be in the chat like this. And
Awesome.
everyone who has want to ping me on LinkedIn, please do that. I may be a slow responder, but I always respond.
Awesome. Awesome. So, Malin, thank you so much for being here. Great, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. We are trailing by like 7, 8 minutes now. We'll try to cover this time gap as we proceed along. But we're very happy that you could take the time out and be here for Nordic Female Superheroes. The topic of this panel is rethinking ecosystems. So I'll go around the virtual table and ask a question, and maybe I'll go, how would you say, alphabetically. And if you could just give us a quick introduction about yourself and about your organization, what you're doing. So, Christina, if we could start with you.
Yeah, of course. And thank you for having me. The discussion is already super interesting. And yeah, I'm Christina. I'm one of the co-founders of BRIM, which stands for Brands for Impact. And at BRIM, we're building a new impact ecosystem. The goal is to connect brands to causes, initiatives, impact experts, startups, kind of you name it, to co-create kind of long-lasting impact projects that go a lot deeper than the current model that we have that tends to look a lot more transactional, where money just kind of changes hands to create very kind of superficial kind of impact. So the idea is to kind of unite around problems, like speaking of kind of being problem-centered, and connect all the relevant people with kind of brands coming in as well with their own power and their own money to be able to create a very different kind of impact that actually leads to long-term prosperity for both people and the planet.
Awesome. Thank you. So, impact was the last point which Malin was mentioning. Good to see continuation. So, you're an impact platform and it's supported by brands. Great. Thank you, Christina. Jeanette, over to you.
Well, hello, everybody. Fantastic to meet all of you, and thank you for having me. Jeanette Carlsson here. I'm the founder and CEO of Tech Nordic Advocates. So we're Northern Europe's largest tech startup ecosystem, offices in Copenhagen, Stockholm, Helsinki, and Oslo. I think that was all four. And we're also Northern Europe's largest female tech founder community and run Europe's only international female tech founder growth program. So we have helped over 700 female founders in tech launch, grow, scale, raise capital, and expand technology companies internationally. And we're also the Nordic Baltic ambassador for We Do, so the global women's entrepreneurship day organization that's headquartered in New York and in various EU bodies. And I'm personally an advisor to the EU as well around women in tech. So lots of stuff. We do a lot of stuff, not just the female founder and women in tech program. It's all about helping technology companies launch, grow, scale, raise capital, and expand internationally. So context, so we're the Nordic sibling of Tech London UK Tech Advocates, which is the engine behind the London UK's Tech Hub and a Nordic arm of Global Tech Advocates. So we have 48 hubs in 60 countries, over 30,000 people in Global Tech Advocates, from Tech California right through to Tech Australia Advocates. So we're the Nordic bit of a very large global tech ecosystem. So lovely to meet you all.
Awesome. So the Nordic part of a very large global ecosystem, Northern Europe's largest tech ecosystem, 700 plus female founders in different programs. Great to hear about that, Jeanette. Let's move to Mehkar.
Hello, everyone. Do you all hear me?
Yes.
I am sitting in a box and it just feels like there's no air in. So yeah, good that everyone can hear me all right. First of all, I am so excited to be here. Literally goosebumps. Malin's keynote was just the right set of tone to start this evening. And I've been looking forward to this evening for a long, long time now. So many familiar faces on the screen. I am dying to hear what you guys have to share today. I think these conversations are so important. And sometimes it does feel like it's a repetition of something, but the more you say, the louder you are, the better it will be. And I think these questions should be discussed over and over and over again. And it's great that we have both men and women involved in these conversations. So thank you, Nati Ventures, and thank you, Naimul, for having Venture Cup be a part of this. So I am the CEO for Venture Cup, which is Sweden's largest national competition for startups and business ideas. We started in 1998 at the initiative of McKinsey and Company, together with Gothenburg University, Chalmers, and a couple of other innovation organizations. And now this is our 27th year doing the great things that we're doing. And over 30,000 entrepreneurs have competed at Venture Cup. 18,000 startups have, I don't like putting numbers to the actual feeling, that the vibe that we've created in Sweden. No numbers can describe that, but sometimes it's just easy to quantify in your head the magnitude of impact that we create in this country. We are super inclusive, which is why I think this platform is so relevant to us. We are a very, very early stage. We support founders at a time when there are too many gatekeepers, too few gardeners for them, and they just need some sort of validation. They're not sexy at this point. They're not VC backed at this point. So all they have is an idea and a lot of fear that, maybe it's going to work or not. So we have these competitions called Startup and Idea Competition, where we provide a platform, and we have a network in Northwest, East, and South of Sweden. We have offices in all four regions, where we're partners with both public and private sector. And we bring in the entire innovation ecosystem to help these startups at a very, very early stage. We find them, we dig them out from universities, from their labs, their researchers working with life sciences. And so it's super exciting to see the impact that we create year after year. So in the regions, they have these competitions, and then the winners in the regions compete with each other at a national level at an event called Sverigefinaalen. So we're very fun, popular, super early stage startup competition, but we're a lot more than that as well. We're very inclusive, not just in gender, but also in sector, in stage, in every possible way. We had our finalists, one was 17-year-old, and in the same cohort, the other was 65 years old, this current one. So thank you very much once again, Emil.
Thank you. So largest early stage competition in Sweden. So again, a very different ecosystem. Let's go to Niloufar.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Naimul, for the invitation. I want to say that, just like Mehkar said, I'm really, really glad and also very humbled to be part of this event and among these incredible women and panelists. Really quickly about me and the organization. I come from a very long background in entrepreneurship and business development, from one of the largest bankruptcies in Iran to the largest win in other countries as well. So been on every side of the spectrum you can imagine. And I'm a founder and Secretary General of an organization called Euro-Nordic Funding Alliance, in short ENFA. We are headquartered in Norway with currently 17 national offices in Europe, Nordic, Middle East, and also Africa. And what we do, let me just give you one example that just landed last week. Between our cases, we supported a clean water solution startup from Norway that was selling 1 unit in Oslo, 3 units to Stavanger, maybe 5 up north. We connected them with a water distribution company from Dubai, and they together have gotten a large project in Kenya, as part of the Lake Victoria project in municipality of Kisumu. And we ended up supporting them with some grants from EU, some support from UN, and also around $20 million investment. So that is one of our solid cases. I'm really proud of that. But how we do this, really quick, we're basically an alliance partnership. I ref the name, an alliance partnership of accelerators, incubators, chambers, member associations who have a good quality portfolio of companies. They collaborate with us. They introduce their cases to us. And then on the other side, we also partner with VCs, private equity investment firms, funding agencies like EU or Nordics. And we basically support startups and SMEs that become as part of our portfolio, including NGOs. They become our members. We basically make them into large scale projects like these ones and support them with blended financing. That's about it.
Awesome. So great to have, so very interesting example that you gave, Niloufar, and great to have the funding expertise, cross-border collaboration expertise in the room as well. So great work at ENFA. Let's move to Heja, Livet, Solvor.
Hi. Yeah, I'm Solvor. I'm the CEO of Heja, Livet and also community manager. That's what I mostly identify as. Heja, Livet is Sweden's biggest female community. We are now 145,000 members, and we have only grown organically since the start. We're also on Instagram, 50,000, so it feels really fun that it's like such a big crowd that is joining our community. And we're like a meeting platform for women with all kinds of questions in life. So from personal development and mental and health, relationships, women's health, work, and private economics. So whatever questions you have or whatever life crisis or question that you have, you can come to Heja, Livet, and there is always one person that can answer. We're both working with like experts in the field that are helping pro bono of their time. So that can be a lawyer if you're going through a divorce, or a psychologist or a midwife or something like that. But we are also helping brands with more purposeful communication. So we're like a mix of a community on one side and influencer, PR marketing agency on the other side. But we root all of our communication concepts in problems that we actually see among the women in the community. So in that way, I thought Christina, it was interesting to listen to yours too, because we are also very purpose driven and help brands like actually make communication concepts that drive change, positive change and results among the women. And we can also see a lot of questions from the women when it comes to entrepreneurship. And I think we are more like even further, earlier stage. It's maybe where a woman has a dream, but doesn't know how to go abroad it, and then she's just asking how other people have done and so on. So it's very, very early brainstorming stage. So excited to be here.
Awesome. So by far the largest women's community, I would say 145,000. That's a huge number just in Sweden. So I think next thing that we are expecting is, when are you going to rest of Nordics and rest of the world? So I think you have a working model there. Amazing. Let's move to the next point, because I was thinking like all of you are building very different. So as you said that even in entrepreneurship, Solvor, you were mentioning that you're probably one stage behind when people are figuring out in their mind what to do with their lives. What need, and that's kind of links back to my second question, what need does your ecosystem fill in the market? Is there a particular need that is big enough that your ecosystem is filling? So, and anybody can either raise hand, or we can just go around, whoever wants to just speak up first. What need, or what's the vision behind your ecosystem? Shorter this time, so we can have a faster discussion.
Do you want to pick on us, Nigel?
We can pick. Okay, I can pick on you. Yes, go ahead, Jeanette. So it's over to you.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, absolutely. So need. So we've entirely focused on tech, as you know, right? And tech is anything from beauty tech, health tech, through to quantum mechanics and deep tech. It doesn't matter what tech it is, right? But it's all about helping female founders launch, grow, scale, raise capital for technology companies, as I said. And the need, very specifically, is, it's inherently a very male-dominated environment. Nothing wrong with guys, but it creates a whole bunch of structural issues, problems. Access to capital, it's, human nature to invest in what you know. And so the guys tend to invest in the guys because that's what they know. Sometimes there are bad reasons in addition to that. Sometimes it's just a historic thing. And this lack of access to support for female founders, again, because of the intrinsic, male-dominated ecosystem, the behaviors, attitudes sometimes, and stuff. It's like on a spectrum. So bottom line, there are very few female role models as tech entrepreneurs, and there's limited access to the support and capital and all the rest of it. And that problem is systemic, endemic, if you like. It's not going to solve itself. It's not solved itself over the last 10 years. Access to capital has, if anything, has actually declined of female founders. So basically, it's not going to solve itself. So the need is very much to try and break that cycle, to say, look, let's create an ecosystem here where female founders can meet, create more role models, give them the support they need to nurture the talent that they absolutely have to launch these. I mean, and we've seen this, right? So the programs that we've been running across the Nordics for the last five years is like funder programs. And every time I pitch for the funding, I get asked, look, how are you going to find all these female founders? And I said, look, there is no shortage of female tech founders. What there is a shortage of support to help them, fulfill their potential and help create growth and jobs and all that. So that's a need. It's an inherent structural challenges for female tech founders in the ecosystem, and that's what we're addressing.
Awesome, thank you. So I'll pick, as you said, thank you, Jeanette. Maybe in this round I'll do that. But Niloufar, if I come to you, what razor sharp need is your ecosystem addressing?
One of the biggest needs that we address is that, I have been a startup myself as well. We want to save the world with the tiny solution that we develop, which is great at the end of the day, but it needs to fit into a value chain in a system. So the biggest problem that we solve is that we make that value chain system and ecosystem happen for the projects to create. So your single solution would suddenly be part of a real project on the ground. And of course, the financing is very important, because when you are alone, it's very difficult to attract financing, because you need to mostly sell a promised product, an idea with prototype and everything. But now you are part of a realizable project, and all the startups and scale-ups that we onboard together, they will, and the investment happens in the form of SPV. So you will in return get what you need, but it will be in a collaborative matter that actually solves the problem on the ground in an emerging market or something. We don't have a focus on female founders or any specific industries, but we happen to actually have a lot of female founders joining us because they have a very B2C mindset, and we work with the emerging markets, so they see the delivery of their dreams on the ground with people.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Niloufar. I'll come to Mehkar now. What razor sharp need is Venture Cup addressing in the market?
We are slightly different from the others in the panel right now, because we are slightly more early stage, and the need that we are fulfilling literally is super razor sharp, because it is the need of courage that is required at such an early stage. Nothing of any sort could be possible if an entrepreneur is not given that pat on the shoulder at the very early stage, when he's just contemplating the idea in his head and just thinking that, oh, can I go on a stage under a spotlight and, go in front of real investors and blurb out my unprepared pitch and actually not be laughed at? That is where we step in. We put the tröskel, is the word in Swedish, that we lower down the what's the word? Yeah, we lower the bar for them. We make it easier for them. And I think that's a huge, huge need. And that is what has been kind of verified by Sweden in the past 27 years as well, that there are thousands of people who apply at Venture Cup at this early stage. And there's so many other beautiful organizations that are working in synchronization together with us. There's Drivhuset, there's UF, there are all of these wonderful organizations that are working towards the same need, is that early stage, idea stage founders must be lifted in a very, very accessible and inclusive way, not just gender-wise, but also sector-wise, stage-wise, education-wise, skin color-wise, language-wise. We need to open doors for them at the very, very first step. If they don't get on the first rung of the ladder, there's no possibility for them to take the idea further. So I think that's a huge need in Sweden that we at Venture Cup fulfill.
Okay, amazing. So first rung on the ladder, and yeah, for providing the opportunity. Great. Let's move to Solvor.
Yeah, so I think Livet is also very broad, maybe a bit different from the other panelists here. But our biggest need that we meet is that there is a space where you are heard and where you meet compassion. And we have been very strict with the moderating, which has flourished a very big, like, safe community. So, and a very positive vibe there. So it's incredible that like 145,000 women are only positive and sharing for each other. So I think having that type of invisible power sisterhood that you know that you can turn to when, even if it's like, okay, I have an idea and I want to brainstorm it, or I want to start, but I'm struggling with the work-life balance with my family, with finances, and so on. So we really create a space where there is like safe to ask. And then on top of that, we also have these ambassadors that I mentioned. So we have some experts that you can also ask. So one that works with entrepreneurship, and then she is our expert in that field. And then we also do events and collaborations with companies, and so that we can have, we, for example, had an after work here earlier this spring on entrepreneurship. And the deep conversations that was in that room was just really touching. And so I think we just create this safe space, which is really cool, and that you can't really find anywhere else except in your close friendships in real life.
Nice things. Invisible, safe, positive space. Great. So I think a very interesting need. Christina, what's the razor sharp need that your ecosystem is addressing?
Yeah, so one of the big problems that exist, especially in the kind of brand impact space, is that the way brands tend to go about their impact projects, they usually will identify a cause or an organization within an area that they are interested in or is somehow related to what they do. And then they will usually just give money to that cause. Usually what that means is that they don't really have such a big understanding of the problem. It's a way to kind of outsource kind of the responsibility of addressing the problem to someone else, which means that their involvement is very, very limited. And there's a lot of projects already from bigger corporations that have kind of broken from this model, and it makes such a difference, in terms of like the impact that they can create when they move away from this very kind of transactional philanthropy, transactional kind of impact. And basically what we're trying to do is help organizations and brands build impact from scratch, and like really understand a problem. This can be a problem, within their own supply chain or outside it. Usually a lot of brands and organizations have a lot of problems within their supply chains that they're sometimes directly the cause of, just because especially bigger brands tend to take so many resources, especially in like the places where they acquire their raw materials. And we really want them to kind of go really deep. And to do that, we're providing this new kind of like impact framework and creative these collaborative impact spaces or collaborative impact systems where we kind of help them understand a problem. We really take them to kind of the local source of it, to understand all the stakeholders that are involved in this particular problem, all the different organizations, whether they be causes, communities, startups even, who are working, within that space, who are already working towards solving a problem, and bringing them together, so that they can talk, they can create this kind of impact collaboratively. And it's really kind of about transitioning towards a much more long-term understanding of what impact is. And that this kind of like patchwork, kind of like Band-Aid impact that a lot of brands have been doing, is at the end of the day not creating long-term solutions or long-term prosperity for people and planet. And that we really need to go a lot deeper if we want to address a lot of the problems we face as humanity and as a planet in a meaningful way.
Okay, so from transactional philanthropy, as you said, or Band-Aid, you're moving them to a more long-term collaborative impact spaces. Great. So very interesting perspective, very unique needs. I have a question, General. How do we make, because you all have a lot of experience in building ecosystems of different kinds, tech ecosystem, entrepreneur ecosystem, brand ecosystem, funding, cross-border, so women's ecosystem. How do we make ecosystems more inclusive so that more people can come in and solve? So is there a recipe? What's your experience behind making an ecosystem more inclusive? And anybody can just raise hand, or just raise hand like this. Okay. So we go Mehkar, and then Christina, and then Niloufar. That's the order I saw.
Yeah, I'll keep it
short.
super short. Yeah, very short. I think we should walk the talk. So there are lots of organizations that are yapping all the time about inclusivity. It's everywhere. It's the buzzword of the century that ecosystems should be inclusive, but there are very few that are actually doing things themselves that are deep down, that are inclusive. So my brain says that your organization, first of all, should show what inclusivity is. So I can say that for Venture Cup, how I run it is that on the stage, we are very, very aware of the fact that how many people are being represented as role models. We cannot control who applies to Venture Cup, how many female, but we try and encourage more women to apply. We try and encourage it to be more inclusive. The kind of people we invite to everything that we can do has the aspect of being inclusive and accessible. Entrepreneurship, making the ecosystem in that particular way is a main focus, a main value at which we stand. So yeah, walk the talk, man.
Okay, walk the talk. Great. Christina.
I think a thing that, and actually I think all the organizations here represent that, is to really kind of increase inclusivity, whether it's in the impact space or any other space, is to have more kind of connectors of people. I think that's something all the organizations here share in common, that they bring different people together to help them, to empower them, basically. And I think particularly in the impact space, one of the really key bits in kind of connecting people is as well to spend some time trying to understand whose voices have been ignored or haven't been taken into account in the past. Often in the impact space, those voices are local voices, like the local communities often have no say and no kind of power in a lot of like impact projects. And it's to, if one is in a position of being in a connector, is to make sure that one is including them and that one is not kind of repeating patterns that have been repeated in the past, where there's very specific groups that get kind of left out.
Okay. So local communities, ignored voices, that's where we should be focusing on. Walk the talk. Niloufar.
Yeah, and I think if anyone has before listened to me in previous talks about my opinion about labels, is that I basically say one of the biggest problems or one of the biggest exclusive factor in the communities is labels, female founders, female superheroes. And I'm sorry that I'm saying it in this, but it's really deeply, genuinely what I believe in. It makes us representative, but it also becomes by definition exclusive. And my problem with it is on another dimension as well, because yes, the numbers are real, the data and everything, and I care for it. I work with it personally as well, and in organizations, and I'm a systemic designer, so I see through. But for example, you know, when you travel across Kenya, you see that 75-year-old woman selling her banana from her farm by the side of the street, and none of the numbers that we talk about represent her. Is she not a female founder? Is she not a superhero? Is she not an empowered woman? Of course she is. So that is my problem with exclusivity that happens by the numbers. And I've been addressing it many, many times. So I do suggest if we want to be inclusive, we really have to travel. Not necessarily, you know, I don't know, contribute to the CO2 emissions with, but just opening up to seeing that woman. And there are a lot of them in this world that have been bringing their children to school by being a single mother and selling something or building something from scratch. So that's really what I believe in my heart that should be done.
Great point. I think exclusivity by number travel. I think access is a major thing. At least what we are trying to do in Nutty Ventures is with the digital ecosystem. We're trying to reduce barriers for anybody in participating in these talks. Like when we go to fancy large scale tech events, the starting ticket size is 4,000 crowns. Now, how many entrepreneurs and startups can actually go and listen to a network in an event like that? So I think what we are trying to do is to create a model where all this can be accessible for free, but we then need to monetize ourselves in some other way. So great point. And I think in terms of labeling as well, I ran an EU project, a funded EU project, which was for migrants. We named it as a Migrant Entrepreneurs Project. 6 months down the road, all the migrant entrepreneurs approached to me and they said, it has taken us 10 years to get the migrant label out of our lives. And then your project is bringing it back. So absolutely amazing point, Niloufar. So thank you for that.
I have personally suffered from the migrants label. And until I started really looking at the world, I got rid of it myself. I said, I'm an entrepreneur and call me for it.
Amazing, amazing. So let's see. Any thoughts? So if there are female entrepreneurs planning to start not a traditional startup, but build an ecosystem, connect communities, work on impact, or like everyone in the room is doing, like if they want to build an ecosystem instead of a traditional tech startup, what would be your advice how to go about doing it? And then
can I add a point? I mean,
yes. Yeah, please.
You know, I think we need to take it up a notch, and I actually agree with what you just said, Niloufar. There's a real danger about the whole female founder thing, and I say that as a leader of a female founder ecosystem. There is a danger of stigmatizing women, which is but actually I think what I tend to say about it is until the world is equal, we're going to have to highlight that there are underrepresented communities, and it's not just female founders. We actually also run a number of initiatives under our Beyond Gender Diversity banner. So that's people of other ethnic heritage, LGBTQ, senior innovators, people with neurodiversity, whatnot, right? So there's a whole bunch of other underrepresented groups. So I think, just to add to what was said before, what's really important is to articulate why it's an issue that we are excluding certain communities, whether it's women or anybody else who's underrepresented. It's a problem because, the world is made up of people from all walks of life. We need the talent. If the Nordics, now we're in the Nordics, if we're going to prosper as a region, so it's the same problem everywhere in the world, but we're focused on the Nordics, right? If we're going to prosper as a region, create innovation, all the rest of it, we can't afford to leave a huge percentage of the population behind. Right? We just can't afford that. So I think what we need to do is it's if you like, forgive me for phrasing it like this, stop talking about women, stop talking about ethnic minorities, stop talking about all this stuff, but start saying, hey, hang on a minute, there's a whole load of talent out there that we are not using and giving the right opportunity to. I think if you can start to couch it in those terms and say, hey, that means we are foregoing innovation. That means diverse innovation. I mean, there are people who have, who are blind or loss of hearing, whatever. Those people, a lot of those people, are innovators because they understand the problems. I don't understand a problem of somebody with hearing loss or impaired vision or whatever, right? Do you see what I mean? So if we're going to solve complex problems, diverse problems in the world, we need diverse ideas and diverse thinkers, right? So I think we should, move the debate a little bit away from, women and all the other underrepresented groups to say, look, hang on a minute, we need everybody's ideas and perspectives if we are really going to prosper. And innovate and create economic jobs and compete internationally and that sort of stuff. I think that's the point. Take the whole debate up a notch, and then include lots of others. I mean, women talking to women isn't going to fix it, right? So we need to include the rest of society to say, look, this is why we are banging on about this, and you need to be part of the conversation.
Amazing points, Jeanette. I think I wrote it here. Until the world is equal. You started with that. I kind of like that. Like until the world is equal and the odds are equal for everyone, there is still something to be done. So I think amazing points, and I think I like the discussion that's now propping up on chat. So Narayanan and Alexandra, great points in the chat as well. Last 2 or 3 minutes, very, very quickly. Your advice to female founders who want to build ecosystems, as I was saying, rather than a standard tech startup. If somebody wants to go ahead and build an ecosystem, how should they approach it? What's the best way? Any playbook that you have in mind? Any step they should take first? So feel free. Yes, Solvor.
I think I hear a lot around me and in my community and so on that like, oh, I want to start something one day, but I don't know what, or I'm not sure if I'm good enough, or there are so many hinders, especially among women. We tend to overrate the risks, and there you can mention a lot about risks. But for me, of course, it helps to have like a deep purpose, and that's what keeps me going when I didn't sleep and I want to continue. So of course you need a purpose, but I think you also need to rethink that idea that you need to have the perfect idea and then you start. And we need to rethink this view of an entrepreneur. So I think my advice is like discover your why along the way, because maybe your starting point, you realize like, oh, okay, it developed into something else. And then my second one is like, take care of your state of mind, because that's really crucial. So I think also we see a lot of entrepreneurs working really hard, and that image is just like scaring a lot of women in particular, because that's what we're talking about here. So it's like, okay, I have a family, not now. I will do it in 10 years, and then I will do it when I'm retired or when I have X amount of money. So yeah.
Amazing points, like discover your why and take care of your state of mind. Thank you, Solvor. Yes, Mehkar.
As part of Venture Cup, I get this privilege of going around the country quite a lot in different corners of Sweden. And I've had this honor of getting to know different ecosystems and understanding very deeply how similar yet different they are. So this advice might not be just for women who want to create ecosystems, but any person who wants to create an ecosystem, because it sounds like quite a heavy job to create an ecosystem. Looks like, it's like carrying the burden of the world on your shoulders. But it is very, very simple in the depth of it. I work at a co-working space here called United Spaces, and I was just putting the dishes back in a dishwasher yesterday. And there's this gentleman who comes to me, and it was a Sunday, by the way. And he says that, what do you work with? And just looked at me and I said, yeah, I work with Venture Cup. And what do you do? He says, oh, I'm the founder of Lovable. Like, my jaw dropped, like, oh my God, you're a celebrity. You've done such great things. And then that's how connections start. And then you connect someone who knows someone who can. This is ecosystem building. this is really how simple it is, that you just open your mouth and you talk to people, and then you connect people to other people who you think can be helpful to each other, and be nice and kind to each other, and open doors for people when you can, be it a man or a woman or a child or whoever. I mean, just look at each other as humans and just help each other. And there you are, you have beautiful ecosystems all around.
Awesome. So talk to other people. Great.
And you know what?
Yes.
Ask yourself why you want to start an ecosystem, right? So we were about that before, and actually, so there's like 5 of us here now. We could actually achieve an awful lot if we work together, right? So Mehkar and I met before, and we should definitely still do stuff, right? It's time flies, right? But and ask yourself if there's a need for another ecosystem, because it's a whole lot of hard work, as you were just saying, to set this up. I mean, we're 10 years old, right? We just celebrated our 10th anniversary, and my God, it feels like 20. But there's a lot of hard work. So even if there's a need, think about whether it's actually worth you starting something new, or maybe join forces with something that's already out there. So we, together we're stronger type thing, right?
Yeah. In Sweden,
Amazing
we call
point.
it kaka, like a cake on a cake.
But amazing point. Maybe you can connect ecosystems. I was in a panel. There's a major Italian delegation that has come in Stockholm. So they were holding a full day event. I was on their panel for building ecosystems, and we were discussing this exact point, Jeanette, that ecosystems are kind of firewall. They don't talk to each other. There is so much synergies to be gained just by opening the barriers between the ecosystems, among the ecosystems, and it can be the next round of growth. So I think you're absolutely in a very interesting. You made a very interesting point that sometimes it is that ecosystems need to talk between themselves to generate new stuff or new opportunities. So great point. Yes, Niloufar.
Last point. This was actually the model behind ENFA. So we wanted to be an alliance partnership of ecosystems that had great portfolios. And I think we're really impressed that actually how much there's incentive to collaborate. But just one really heartfelt advice to everyone, no matter if they're a female founder or not, move in between ecosystems, but don't be tourists, because you will get overwhelmed in the ecosystem as well. All of us, we want to help you. All of us, we want to do great things. We connect you to everyone, but you're going to suffocate if you don't have criteria, what you want to do, what you want to achieve. You just become a tourist from this event to the other, from this country to the other. Your pockets are going to be empty earlier than you imagine, and you haven't delivered a single thing in a year, and you're going to just, kill yourself around it. So don't.
Okay. Amazing bits of advice. Thank you so much, everyone. We kind of are again running over by 10 minutes, so I hope our next panel is here. We'll now bring them on. But Christina, Niloufar, Solvor, Mehkar, and Jeanette, thank you so much for your time and very interesting discussion. And you guys are running such amazing ecosystem. Best of luck with the next steps. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks,
Thank you, Nemo.
Thank you. Amazing. First of all, a warm welcome. We are slightly trailing with time, so I think this panel will be around 30, 32, 33 minutes, so it'll be an odd number like that. But really excited to kick it off. And to kick it off, I would say if we could go around the virtual table and kind of have a short intro about you and tell us about what you're building. And let's do that alphabetically. We'll start with Molin, maybe.
Thank you so much for having me here today, and lovely to meet my fellow panelists. Yes, my name is Molin, and I'm the founder and secretary general and also the CEO of Hack for Earth Foundation and Hack for Earth, the company. So we do global hackathons, innovation competitions to create real solutions to the Sustainable Development Goals. So our goal is to create citizen-driven innovation And this, I listened to the previous panel and creating ecosystems where everybody is invited. That's basically what we do, because I really believe that citizens out there and their ideas and perspectives is an untapped resource, and we are providing a platform for these people with these great ideas all over the world to bring their perspectives to the table and create real solutions to that. So we have a system called the Dream Hack Build system, where we ideate and then we hack and then we bring the solutions to life in our acceleration program. So that, in short, is what we do. Thank you.
Awesome. So global hackathons around SDGs, citizen-driven innovation, and Dream Hack and Build model. Great. Thank you so much. Annika, over to you.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Really great to be part of this excellent panel. So as stated, my name is Annika Lundström. I'm originally from Helsinki, Finland. Currently, I'm tuning in from San Francisco, where I relocated exactly a year ago. I'm currently running a medical device startup named Reminded, with the grand mission to become the leading solution in salivary diagnostics. Currently, our team is commercializing the first clinical grade saliva test for cortisol, the main stress hormone, to be implemented into behavioral healthcare to amplify the current methods in terms of clinical decisions and health assessments that are being done. I'm a molecular bioscientist by training and randomly also a youth Olympic table tennis player. I started out to help for this field because I've overcome my own battles when it comes to mental and physical health. And I've definitely just wanted to dedicate my life towards an industry that I've seen the dark side of, but know that you can come out on the other side. And yeah, it's been an interesting journey, but great to take part of this conversation that we're going to have today.
Annika, thank you so much for joining, and great to know that you're connecting from the other side, and great to know about table tennis as well, apart from what you're building in the startup side. Thank you so much. I'm also a huge fan, and not a very good player, but yeah, can still do something. But thank you so much, Annika. Briseida, over to you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you again, Naimul, for the invitation. I'm Briseida Gjoza. I'm co-founder and CEO of ConsciESG. ConsciESG is an ESG fintech startup which has built the first ESG performance tool for alpha generation. And we are on a mission to help asset managers build portfolios that are both sustainable and financially profitable. It's very interesting to hear the other previous founders as well, because my perspective is a little bit more different. Both the founders of ConsciESG do not come from ESG or financial, like what we are exactly doing, but we saw a real problem, that funds were bleeding money at that time, and we understood that there was a potential and that there was this structural market shift that was happening, and that was a good opportunity to tackle. We wanted to understand why ESG was here in the first place, and we tried to make sense of the fact that sustainability had to be profitable as well. It was a very difficult journey. It still is, but I'm happy to share a few pieces of it while I'm still building and going into the world.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Briseida, and great that you're focusing on the ESG side. We'll just hear about it shortly. Over to you, Lisa.
Thank you, and so nice to meet you all. My name is Lisa Kruse, and I'm the founder of Holy Comms. We are a marketing as a service agency. Actually, this is something that is not so common yet, but we feel that our industry is needed. Almost every company in all parts of the ecosystem needs marketing to reach their goals and to become the company or the organization that they need to be and want to be. But it's extremely difficult to buy services from marketing agencies. So we're looking much more into tech and how subscription services work. And I'm so proud that we are the most cost-effective and most full-service offering in Sweden, at least. Not sure about the other Nordic countries. So that's us. We have been around for 6.5 years. We're 40 full-time employees and growing head by head, so to speak. And as I am the founder, which you might be obvious being in this group, since I founded Holy Comms, I could really feel this feeling grow during the first years. I have been getting so much cred, so to speak, being a female founder, and I thought that I needed to do something. So just all of this talk about the ecosystems is really needed, but I also think that we should talk about the need of us being inside the ecosystem and already being a female founder. We need to do more to bring people in, and I know it shouldn't be our responsibility, but I feel this really heavy on my shoulders. So I have started at KEYNOTE, which is a cost-free members club for female entrepreneurs, with the goal of getting them to employ, because Sweden is one of the worst countries in Europe when it comes to the percentage of women that is company owners with employees. So our goal is to convert more female entrepreneurs into employers and make them grow by recruitment. So that's me. Really excited about this.
Okay, amazing, amazing, and great to know about your new venture or the new community at KEYNOTE. I
Thank
think
you.
everyone here should go and check it out.
Yes, please.
Yes, please do. You can put a link here. I put your
Yes.
LinkedIn, but maybe somebody can
Wonderful.
directly
Yes,
contact.
would love to.
I want to understand, like, what drove you to building your particular startup or your business? And that's a question to everyone, and we can rotate around whoever wants to. Like, what was the burning thing? What was the big why that drove you to starting this startup? So maybe we can start with that, and whoever wants to take if you are building the world's biggest global hackathon platform, why? What drove you to it? So over to you, whoever wants to start. I keep it open.
Now that you used the hackathon as an example, I can start if no one else wants to. For me, actually, I couldn't do anything else. This is I love my work and my job, and when I started out working with hackathons for the government mission Hack for Sweden like 6 years back, I just felt that I have found the place where I should be and where I could bring value to society and to the world, and also use my talents in the best possible way. I think in your career or in life in general, it's all about finding that sweet spot where you make most impact and that where you like bring your best to society and it's useful, and that's really different for everybody, of course. So I have a background as a licensed psychologist. So I also believe a lot in what the panel before us talked about, a lot about diversity and bringing a lot of different people to the table. And I'm like the perfect example of that, because I really don't belong in the startup innovation ecosystem at all. I used to work in public sector and have a completely different background, but I really think that's one of the reasons I have a different perspective that can also bring synergy effects that was not expected. So I really think that could work like that for a lot of people, and that society should take more of that opportunities to bring different perspectives together in order to flourish and to make society better. So yes, basically, I went to my first hackathon back in 2018, and I just fell in love with the method, because a hackathon is like you work in teams on a specific challenge, and it's time pressured, and you turn in a solution at the end of the day or the days. And I just saw this great potential for using this method and bringing it to do the international stage, and also bring people together and in a very short time, making them work together on a problem is so much more effective than just talking to each other. So that's like the magic sauce of the hackathon, that I felt like there's nothing else for me in the world to do. I have to do this. So yeah, that's my story. I'm really curious to hear what Annika, Briseida, and Lisa, your stories, your whys. What is your why?
Yes. So maybe Annika, let's go to you. So yours was bringing people together in a time-pressed situation, helping them solve problems, and that kind of triggered you scaled that solution. You fell in love with it, and then you scaled it, and then created the method of build. Dream, hack, build. Yes, I remember.
Yes, so creating the system of innovation where we bring people together to create citizen-driven innovation, because people out there is an untapped resource. We're not using that. There is no platform really for people to bring their ideas. So that's the general idea.
Cool. It's really harvesting all the energy of all of the people in the room. I love it.
Awesome. Annika.
Yeah, so what I briefly mentioned there in my intro as well, I would say, like, from the personal experience of being a young athlete and dealing with a very stressful environment in general to perform at my best, definitely took a toll on my own mental and physical health. And whilst in the process of overcoming that and just naturally going into study molecular biosciences, then on the side of my studies, I was opened up to this whole new world of biosensors and innovations that were coming out in that space, particularly also for behavioral healthcare. We've seen that it's an industry that has room for improvement with the clinical decisions that are being made. It's still an industry that's quite heavily reliant on subjective assessments, on questionnaires and interviews. So integrating more objective data, not like reinventing the wheel, but making it more accessible for people to know what's happening internally and tracking in a continuous manner the treatments that are being provided by the clinicians is the way that we want to improve this industry. So I feel like a lot of the individuals that I've met, particularly in the health and medtech space, definitely have a personal story, a sick mother, some kind of relative that have gone through a health journey that has ignited the fire within them to pursue this. And it's definitely a challenging industry to break into, but I feel like this is the reason why a lot of people start out in this space, and that's my why as well.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that, Annika. Briseida, what brought you to the ESG space?
So Naimul, for me, it's important to emphasize one personal aspect as well. I'm the first daughter in my family, the first niece in the whole, from everyone in the casas. Wow. And everybody was looking at me since I was a little girl, everybody was looking at me with a lot of, with a lens of responsibility, the first in this, the first in everything. And jokes aside, I mean, this affects you a lot in the way that you see life and in the way that you behave and the responsibilities that you used to take. And I've always been the go-to person to solve problems, to solve issues, to be there in the front line for the challenges. And when the other co-founder, because how ConsciESG started, it was not just a very brilliant idea at some point in time. It was based in a lot of research, a lot of intensive work, and it came as a product of a lot of thinking, and not just the passion and the drive to solve a problem. So when the other co-founder approached me with wanting to tackle this big issue in terms of why funds were bleeding money at the time, she was more on the research perspective. I made it as a mission to properly understand whether ESG could be profitable as well, and if there was a financial correlation between sustainability and future stock price returns in this case, as we are doing. I'm sorry for going a little bit longer, but I wanted to give like a more real answer than the usual written articles that we give, you know, about how ConsciESG started.
Okay, and thank you so much, Briseida. Lisa, what was your trigger point, or what's your big why for Holy
Yeah,
Comms?
well, for me, it was I really liked what Anne said about I couldn't do anything else, and for me, the trigger point was really realizing that the only common thing when it came to all the employments I had that that were never good enough, and it wasn't. I mean, they were amazing people, managers, companies, but I would always come up with something that I thought that they did wrong when it comes to strategy. Why are they moving into this market? Why are they changing that? And and then I had to quit because they don't understand that this is a really bad decision. I'm just kind of losing all of my all of my energy within here. And then I just went to the next and when I realized and that was actually working at Egerstrom, which is one of the largest companies in Sweden, at Apotek Hjärtat. If I can feel like that within there, the only thing that is common here is me. So it's me. Me is I'm the faulty thing within here. So I had to start my own company for me to be able to just be free, to be able to decide on these things. And so that's what was a trigger point. But also a trigger point was I studied rhetorics. I really wanted to work with communication. I love to communicate and I wanted to understand more. And I thought it would be a good thing to study, but nobody would hire me. And I think that I applied for like all the jobs that were out there, but everybody thought it was such a weird thing to study rhetorics, to have a bachelor in rhetorics. So I had to kind of work my ass off to get into the marketing manager role, a global marketing manager role. Like, yes, I made it, but just to realize that I didn't have a budget, I didn't have a team, I needed more help. So that was the end goal, and it wasn't good enough. So, and then I realized that maybe I can just do this better by just trying to change the industry instead of trying to please it, and then it not being a good end goal anyway. So that was my story. Just try to just make it happen by yourself if you always think that everybody else is making the wrong decisions, right?
Can I just say I love your story?
No, amazing.
Everybody else to make the wrong decision, so I have better do it myself. Yeah, just love it.
I think that's a very strong trigger point for entrepreneurs, that it's a lot of pent-up frustration.
Yes.
You see around and see, okay, why is this not working? Okay,
exactly.
I'll solve it.
Yes.
Which brings me to the next point. Any high frustration moments in your startup building or business building process that come to your mind? Like what has been your biggest challenge in building your startup, or some of the biggest challenges, if you want to share?
Okay, should I start again?
Yeah, well, please go ahead. It's okay. Whoever wants to start. Yeah.
First of all, I just want to say one thing that really, because this is one of the major pain points still, and that is I'm really dreaming of the day when I am just a founder and not a female founder.
Okay.
As like the previous panel was also talking about.
Yeah.
Of course, there are several groups out there, not just women, who are excluded. But sometimes, usually in my experience, it doesn't help just yourself a female founder. It just like excludes you. And I don't know how to change this, but the money speaks volumes. And I assume you've been talking about this before. And that's, I think it's like 99% or something of the investments go to startups started by men. So the myth of the genius being a white man is alive and kicking, and I will stand by that because I really feel this in that sense, trying to stand by my female what do you call it, counterparts or sisters or whatever, but still just being where everything is happening, where the business is happening, and not talking about being a woman. To be very blunt, that's what I try to do. And I can't, another thing, okay, and I'm being very blunt, I'm being completely honest, I cannot surround me with only women. It's not possible. Then I would not sell a thing. I need to be have an inclusive team. That's, of course, since we work with citizen-driven innovation and we want to include everybody, that's good. But if I would end up in that situation, I only had women around me, I think that would be bad, to be honest. And I think it's horrible. It is that way because you can have an all male team and it's going to work out fine anyway. So this is, and I don't really know how to really address this. I think it has to start with the investments going in more directions, and it's not looking good. And I don't know really how to address it. I don't have the solution. I think we just have to keep working on it and soon, hopefully, we will just be founders. We will be sitting here having this discussion and just being founders and talking about what it is to be a founder and not specifically a female founder. So yeah.
Excellent point. Yes, please. Somebody was saying something.
Yes, I would say also that just tapping into that, there are so many things that are hard on the journey as a founder, and for us it was like starting the company 1 year before COVID, and everything was hunky-dory. We recruited people. My husband joined, and we owned the company 50-50. We bought an apartment and everything, and then COVID struck, and we panicked just as everybody else. But then we grew a lot. So we recruited 20 people in a year during like the restrictions, and it was so strange. And we got so much growing pains, and just using the knowledge that is within the entrepreneurial forum about, for example, growing pains. How do you come out of it? How do you cope? How can you learn fast? Right now, I'm so happy that happened because that made us more mature. We just kind of hit the wall with the growing pains really fast during a pandemic, and we had our second baby, and she was just screaming for a year, and it was, excuse my language, like fucking mayhem, but it made us so much stronger. And I got so much love from the entrepreneurial community, from of course from many men, because many men are in the community. So but that knowledge, I just hope that we can together make sure that reaches more women, because I think that can help. If you know what might happen and how you can resolve it and how you can reach out, and that you will have like a big crew of people that you never knew before that are super successful and that you look up to, but now they're giving you advice and you have them on speed dial. I mean, that's helpful to know. So for me, that was the hardest part, but also what made me realize that I can do this. I can build a really, really big company, and I'm just getting started. So not being afraid of hitting a wall is a great learning, but it was not fun.
Okay, not being afraid of hitting a wall.
Yes.
Any other challenges that we could address?
Yeah, I would like to share one of the biggest challenges that actually we went through, and even personally, because challenges in this case are both internal and external. The biggest internal challenge as a woman especially is the fact that we wanted excellence from the very beginning. But this is not smart, and besides the external factors that have affected us in wanting excellence, actually it's not even being honest and true to yourself, because you should be able to own your imperfections at any stage. And that's not just being authentic per se, but it's being responsible for the stage that you are in. For example, at the very beginning, we thought that we cracked ESG from the very beginning. But and we were pretending that we had done something huge and we wanted to push it into the world, and we were a little bit reluctant towards skepticism and towards other feedback that we got. So I think that this is one of the biggest challenges, which is internal, and externally there is two main challenges coming, at least on my side. The first one is the lack of ecosystem. I come from Albania. I come from a non-existing ecosystem, and I had to build ecosystem everywhere in the world. I had to travel to Sweden, I had to go to US, and I had to go to where else in the world besides Albania in order to gather the necessary feedback to understand whether I was on the right road towards building that big dream of ConsciESG. And the second thing is, I think it's relevant for, I mean, at least most of the women which are trying to build something deep tech, especially in finance, that this is the man's world. And I'm not even complaining about that at all. I'm just trying to understand how should I behave while I preserve my authenticity, professionalism, and everything else. But it is a challenge. I mean,
can I just totally agree with you there, Briseida? Just that navigating a man's world, it's you can. I totally agree with what you said. That was
but I don't even say it in a complaining way. I mean, I see the world as it is. The world is as it is for the moment. This doesn't mean that we shouldn't push towards changing it, but at least we should take one, like we should know how to behave while things are as they are, and we should do extra work, which is I mean, it's necessary, and that's it.
Yeah.
Very, very deep and very interesting thought, Briseida. I'll go back to what Jeanette was saying in the last panel. It kind of hung in the room when she said that until the world is equal. Because until the world is equal, we probably need to still make things, do things in a way till it's equal, and then things can be equalized. But really good point. Annika, I'm interested in knowing in your startup building journey, any major frustration or something that kind of you just gave up? Yeah. If there was a moment like that, and what was that?
That I wanted to give up?
Yeah, was there a moment which was like frustrating or something?
Oh, 100%. I think like most of the time it's gonna feel extremely uncomfortable and difficult when you're starting out from the ground up and don't have so much to provide or showcase, let's say, to an investor or something else. One of the absolute hardest things to do is to raise for your first round, whether you're in medtech, I don't know, fintech, whatever industry you're going into, because again, you have to prove things that you haven't built out yet. And especially being in the hardware space, even like some simple prototyping requires some kind of foundation of a sum of money. I would say the thing that I really had to like adjust to is that I don't have all the answers when I'm starting out, having these conversations with investors, getting rejections upon rejections. So there might be some things that I have to adjust in order to eventually come to a yes. And I can be quite upfront and honest and say that for our first round, I probably talked with 150, 200 investors to eventually translate that into 5 investments in total for that funding round. At this point, we have raised close to $1 million in funding and are initiating clinical trials now. So in 1 year's time, so it's been a very swift progress, but those initial stages were extremely difficult. We were at a point where there were just like a few weeks or a month of like runway left, and being in that emotional state it's not easy. I think the only thing that you can tell yourself in those moments is, why did I start this? I wouldn't have started this also if there wouldn't be a chance to get out on the other side. And at least if we would die now, then I knew that I've put in all of my energy and effort towards something that I highly believed in. And I feel that that's the thing that a lot of people feel terrified to do, but that's the only way to actually step into a new level of development and a higher version of yourself. And I feel like that's the thing that I've now taken into this next phase of development that we've started. So yeah, it's never going to be easy, but it's a constant progress of iteration.
So it's never going to be easy. Like the resilience around purpose, I think that's the main thing. Like if you believe in something, you drive with it, and then you're resilient. You get up every time. Great, awesome. I'm just checking very quickly. We have a couple of more minutes. So any last minute thoughts for upcoming founders, female founders who are starting up just now? What would be your
Yeah.
advice in one line? What should they do if they
I
want to
have
build a
I have
successful?
one thing.
Yes, yes,
I
yes,
have to
please,
say,
Lisa.
I just tapping into what Annika said, just stepping into the higher version of yourself. That is something that is the greatest, one of the greatest learnings that I had myself too. I have to take care of myself. This has become like a real growth, self-care, wellness journey for me. Always been interested. Now I feel that it's my responsibility towards the companies, the employees, the future of what I'm building, to take care of myself, to be able to have that with you, because you are going to run fast and you're going to go hard. So taking care of yourself and making sure that you have the resources for mental and physical health, that is really, really, really key. Everything else you will be able to make happen, but that is really good to have some strength moving into the process.
Awesome. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yes,
One-liners. Don't give up. Because that's I heard actually that was one of the main things about startups that make it. Don't give up. So resilience is important. Second, don't chase, attract. I really believe that's really important. Try to do that. Attract instead in the way you move and how you interact with people. And third, surround yourself with great people who are very good at things you're not so good at.
Okay.
I would
So
like to
don't
share
give up,
something as
attract.
well. Or
Yes, yes.
there is no more time. What I wanted to share, besides, I mean, I agree with everyone else as well, but one thing that I really wanted to share is that we should, I mean, the personal branding is not about posting and the glamorous and the shiny, bright outside. It's about doing the hard work, and especially as women founders, as female founders, we know how to bring solutions. So focus on building real products that bring solution, and then you can actually really be in for the long game. So that's the most important thing on my side. Do the hard work, just like we know how to do it.
Awesome. Awesome. We'll close the panel now. I think this has been amazing discussion. Thank you so much for taking the time out, all the founders on building brilliant ventures in different spaces. So thank you for taking the time out, and let's move to our next part. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Anne. Thank you, Briseida and Annika. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much. I'm just checking one. I'm just thinking if we missed somebody. Let's see. Let's do a quick check here.
Is this the panel?
Yeah, this is the panel.
Wow.
Yeah. But great.
And everybody's showing up. I think that's awesome.
Thank
What
you.
else to do on a Tuesday evening? And it's 20 degrees in Stockholm.
Yeah, it's amazing
22
weather.
in Gothenburg, though.
Ah,
kidding.
wow.
A little bit south. Yeah.
So, are we finally in summertime, or is it still spring?
Yeah, I don't know. Depends on I think it still is spring, actually, because I think they measure it on the degrees in the evening, that it needs to be over 10 Celsius for 6 or 7 days to become a summer. I think that's the key. So everybody, and few of you nod, so I think I'm pretty much right. But
Awesome.
I've
Awesome.
just stopped putting names to summer and spring, just call it happy and sad.
Yeah.
Amazing way of labeling. Okay, great. Everyone, this is going to be very fast kind of next 1 hour and 15 minutes that we are going to be here. The rules of the game are that we have 8 startups that will be pitching. They'll be coming in. They'll be making 3-minute pitches, and we'll cut them at 3 minutes. So if they have presented 8 out of 9 slides, they'll be cutting off at 8 slides. After that, panelists will need to go at the bottom of the Zoom bar where you can find the react button. If you click that, you can raise hand. So you can just try raising hand right now so that we see if raise hand function is working for everybody, because that then is able to prioritize feedback. We wanted a lot of energy in the room. That's why there are 10 or more investors and ecosystem builders in this panel. But that way, it's not essential that all of the panelists comment for each of the startups. So that's okay. So we'll probably be shifting between 3 or 4 views. And when we are commenting, the main thing will be precise and short. So this is a very short and rapid fire session. So that's for the panelists for now.
Do they pitch in for 8 minutes, or is it 8 minutes the full time?
3 minutes pitch.
3 minutes. Okay.
4 minutes feedback time. 1 minute
Like
for
I
switch
did
off.
listen, but I didn't listen. I heard you.
No, pitch
I
is 3
listened, but
minutes.
I didn't hear.
Yes.
Naimul, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you, Magnus.
Of course,
Very
because
good.
I had some microphone problem.
Oh.
Now we can hear you.
Now we can
Amazing.
hear you.
Can you hear me, Naimul?
Did
Yes.
you invite me to the black sheep, Naimul?
No, I think we're all here. I think it's great. All of us are here. Amazing. I would say let's start with a quick introduction from all of you. Let's say half a minute each. So I'll go around in alphabetical order, and I'll also post your LinkedIn profiles here for the community to catch up with you. So if we can go alphabetically, Annette, a quick introduction about you and your organization.
I love that I have a name that starts with A. Thank you. for that.
You always go first.
All right. So Anette Nordvall here, Butterfly Ventures, early stage tech investor as a private investor, but now I'm also an LP and then also a venture partner with Butterfly Ventures, Nordic Baltic Fund. We have about 50 million euros that we are supposed to invest in about 30 companies. We have done 20 so far. So we are in the last year of our first time investment. So this is a good opportunity for you guys to pitch for me or for us. And I look forward to the day. And thank you for inviting me to be here. I feel like a female superhero myself. So, glad to be here.
Amazing, amazing. And thank you so much. So 10 out of 30 still up for grabs. That's the message. Christine, over to you.
Yes, hello, Christine Bjärkby is my name. I have been investing 10 years back, 12 different companies, chairman in 3 of them. Also been in the ecosystem for 15 years, also working a lot with angels and angel groups in the board of European Business Angel Network, and also started here with some of you in the room, the Swedish entity SWEBAN, also coordinating angel groups in Sweden. So I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Christine. You're doing so much work in the Swedish and the larger European ecosystem. Let's go to Cynthia.
Hello, I'm Cynthia Mano. I'm the foreigner here. I'm based in Lisbon, Portugal. I'm an angel investor and also the CEO of Core Angels. Core Angels is a network of angel funds. Right now, we are more than 300 angels who invested in 115 startups in different countries, Europe, Latin America, US, and the Middle East and Africa. Happy to be here. Thank you so much. Amazing, this event. I'm loving it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cynthia. Great that you like it. Daniela, over to you.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for inviting me. I also really looking forward to the session. So I'm Daniela, co-founding partner at Node VC. So we're a new emerging fund. We just closed our first fund just before end of the year at 87 million euros. So very early in deployment, made 10 investments last week, as of last week. And we're all ex-operators. So I myself have a background from the games industry. So I came in early at Paradox Interactive, the video game developer, publisher, and was the CMO there when we listed the company, and worked there for a few more years before I started doing angel investing, and now full-time on the VC side.
Awesome. Gaming, angel investing, and VC with 87 million and 10 deployed. Awesome. Great, Daniela. Thank you for the intro. Let's go to Hannah.
Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
Greetings from Helsinki. Actually, I'm based in Finland, even if I'm actually born and raised in Sweden. I actually am a board member on the Finnish business angel network, FIBAN. Since January, I've been a business angel for about 10 years. I've been in the ecosystem in many other countries where I lived abroad, and I'm also the CEO and founder of She-Vestments. It's an educational investment platform, and we connect female founders with female investors and do a lot of educational things, bringing female investors on board, and then collaborate, of course, with FIBAN. And also am a global ambassador for Nordic advocates and do a lot of sparring with the founders and work on building our community. So very deep into the ecosystem here, and looking forward to tonight.
Anna, thank you so much for being here, for your experience from FIBAN, She-Vestments, and Nordic Advocates. Jeanette was here as well, so we went into a lot of detail on how they are building ecosystem. 700 female founders. She was talking about that in the start. But thank you so much for being here. Magnus, it's over to you.
Okay, Magnus Eriksson. I'm a general partner with STOAF. Stockholm Business Angels is the short of. We are running our third fund. We do investments in deep tech and life sciences. I'm a nuclear physicist by background and an endurance athlete. I think the reason I'm invited here is that I have a long track record that I'm very proud of building very diverse teams. Started out with my nuclear reactor physics background in the 1980s and 1990s, where I built a department with 50% female reactor physicists and 50% male. Did then the similar thing during my time when I lived in Silicon Valley, built a team that was 50-50 female and male. Also recruited a very diverse team at Gartner during my 19 years there as a management consultant. Diversity both when it comes to gender and culture and nationalities. So I think that's why I'm here, and that is some of the accomplishments that I'm most proud of.
Thank you so much, Magnus. Thank you for being here. Amazing to have you and your experience in the room today. Let's see, Mehkar.
Hi all. Thank you, Naimul. My name is Mehkar. I'm the CEO for Venture Cup Sweden, which is Sweden's largest national competition for startups and business ideas. So what my organization does is to prepare early stage founders for you guys, the investors. So it's really nice to see so many investors in this panel, and I'm looking forward to this session.
Thank you so much, Mehkar, for the introduction. Michaela?
Hi, everyone. I'm Michaela. I have an engineering background, have been a former founder, and now head of investor relations at Tech Arena, which is a platform that gathers startups, investors, decision makers, and corporates under the same roof. Through large-scale tech events, we also run accelerator programs. One particular that I'm very invested in as a program director is the Time to Raise accelerator, which is solely focused on fundraising for startups with at least one female co-founder in pre-seed to Series A. We work with VCs, angels, family offices, etc. And then I'm also a chairwoman at a femtech startup and board member of GEOS, which is Young Entrepreneurs of Sweden, and a board member of GEOS Ventures, which is our venture arm. So we're 180 something entrepreneurs invested right now. And I'm also invested in Project Europe, which is super exciting. So happy to be here.
Awesome, Michaela. Thank you so much. So many hats. Great, great to have that in the room. Thank you. Per, over to you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Per. I'm a serial entrepreneur who also has experience from the VC world and from working in big international companies. And together with my business partner, Stefan Lindeberg, I run a company called Further Than Capital. And there we do early stage tech investments and deep tech investments as angel investors. And what we try to be is to be the kind of investors and advisors that I wish I had myself starting and running my own companies.
Thank you so much for being here and for all the great work you are doing for the Nordic ecosystem. Let's go to Rita.
Yeah, hello everyone from sunny and warm Oslo. It's more than 26, I don't know, degrees today. So Rita Hansson, representing here Nordic Ignite. We are an angel investment fund based in Iceland. So thank you for having us from far North Atlantic. We are 79 family offices and investors investing together, and we prioritize our investments in early stage sustainability and gender equality when it comes to the founding teams. In our 2.5 years of running along, we have invested so far in 9 cases divided in different Nordic countries. And beside that, I'm also serving as a board member at the European Business Angel Network together with Christine, and also serve as a Secretary General at the Norwegian Business Angel Network. So looking forward to the pitches today and to find super nice cases to invest in.
Thank you so much, Rita. Again, lots of hats and a lot of work in ecosystem. Really amazing to hear. And Tina, over to you.
Yeah, thank you for being here. Chief Commercial at Nordic Angels, the Nordic region's largest angel investor network. So we have a network platform that's like LinkedIn, but for angels. And we do help our members through both selling and buying companies. And around this, we do a lot of we build a lot of relevant products around that. I have a commercial background and self-investor and also former founder of a company. So happy to be here.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tina, for being here and for Nordic Angels to be here. Let's start. I think we are trailing. We are trailing by around 7 minutes since the start of our event, which increased to around 9 minutes till we are at this stage now. We now have 8 pitches. Again, the rules for the founders are 3-minute pitches, and when you are just coming on while you're setting up, just tell us how are you feeling and maybe tell your name. So that way you get an introduction, but then jump right into the pitch. For mentors and investors here, very short, crisp feedback, ideally by raising hand. It helps me prioritize, and we'll cut the feedback at around 3.5-4 minutes. The purpose is to have a high-paced pitch session and still get some insights for the founders. So founders can please raise hands. It'll be easy for me to identify you. So if I'll see if we can have, we are starting with our first founder, Evie. Tatiana, so I'm bringing you on the panel now. After Tatiana, it's Imaji, which is Beatrice. So we'll first go with Tatiana. Promote to panelist. And this is again the lists for, this is your pitching order. So be ready with your pitch. Tatiana, welcome. How are you feeling? Let's test your audio.
Hola, hola. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, perfect.
Got it.
I will share my screen.
And I'll set my timer now.
Can you see it?
Yes, we can see. And you're good to go.
Okay, perfect. Hello, my name is Tatiana. I'm one of the founders at EV Health. Basically, we are solving a problem that is affecting around 75% of women across the world. It's pelvic floor dysfunctions. 1 out of 3 women will experience symptoms such as urinary leaks, painful sex, or organ prolapse, and this can get worse after childbirth. Sadly, it will take us an average of 6 years to seek help and get the proper treatment. Current solutions, for example, gynecologists or doctors are telling us that just relax, take a pill, is normal, or even worse, they are dismissing our symptoms. So even if we are lucky enough to find a pelvic floor specialist, it will be expensive, time-consuming, and not always available. So with EVI, we can help millions of women with an AI-powered digital therapeutic app. We help women to recover from pelvic floor issues through personalized rehabilitation programs with 24/7 AI support. Also, we are a B2C model, so women just download the app, complete a short questionnaire about their pelvic floor needs and symptoms. They have a one-to-one consultation with a physical therapist expert through a video call and get a personalized program in the app with daily exercise, educational content, and expert support. We can help women in different stages of life, such as pregnancy preparation, postpartum recovery, menopause, sexual health, bladder conditions, hormonal disorders as well, and more. And unlike the competitors, of course, we provide affordable and expert-led care. That's our strong part. And we are working to integrate into insurance providers and employers' wellness programs as well. So we guide our patients through the whole process of recovery with our physical therapist expert that they are based in Latin America, making the solution 4 times cheaper for the European market. And we are backed by medical experts, and our solution is already being tested with a community of over 30,000 women. And we have onboarded more than 6,000 users in the last 6 months with more than 5,000 online sessions with 80% completion rate across all our programs. I'm happy to share that our patients, they report 89% reduction in their symptoms. So this is not a niche problem. In Europe, pelvic floor dysfunctions lead a considerable cost around 69.4 billion euros each year. And we are really a strong team. I'm a physical therapist expert with more than 5 years of experience working with digital health and women's health. And I have been seeing so many women suffering in silence because of that. And the other partner, he is a software developer, ex-Shopify, with more than 12 years of experience building MVPs from US and Europe. Currently, we are raising our pre-seed round, 500K, with 150 already committed by Ultra VC and Startup Wise Guys. And our vision is to focus in the Spanish-speaker users in US, Latin America, and Spain. So yeah, thank you so much, and hopefully we can break the gender health gap together. Thank you.
Thank you. That was like 30 seconds over but it'll eat up in your feedback time. Quick thing, where are you based? Where is the startup located?
We are based in Tallinn, Estonia, and
Okay.
we are from Colombia.
Thank you so much. Panelists can now raise hands so that I can prioritize the feedback. Just a second. Yes, Rita, Nordic Ignite.
Congratulations for the pitch. Very interesting solution, and also very well explained, fit for the problem. I would miss perhaps, but perhaps there was no more time, the competition landscape. This is my feedback.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Christine?
Yes, good pitch, absolutely, and addressing a problem. I'm sure about that. I'm looking a little bit more for the business model, and if you're earning any money today already with all these users.
Yes. So
startups don't have to respond unless asked to. Like
yeah.
if there is a question, the panelists can still ask.
Yes.
But typically in that case, very short answer. But right now, I think it was not a question. Mehkar.
A quick comment. Your value proposition needs to be clearer because there are lots of other startups doing similar things. So how you're different and what is it that you offer? That should be the first thing before anything else.
Okay.
Thank you. Cynthia.
Yeah, super quick comment just on the funding size that you're raising 500,000, I guess. If you can just bring like the 2 major lines of expenses, what you want to use these funds for, this would be helpful also for investors.
Very good point. Per, over to you.
Yes, really listen carefully to the feedback you already got. It's very good feedback and very valid feedback, so really note it down. I add two more. That is, you mentioned it's AI supported and so forth. To me, it's not obvious how you actually use AI. So if you use the word AI to sell yourselves, also explain a little bit about how you do it. Next one is, I think you flipped over quickly the team slide. Probably that's sad, probably, but I don't know since we didn't see it. Probably your team is one of your absolutely strongest assets. So it might be that it deserves to be the first slide. Consider that.
Very good points. We can probably squeeze in one or two more feedbacks. Yes, Daniela.
Yes, so thank you for a good pitch. I was curious about the long-term vision and kind of what position you want to build long-term. Like how big is this going to become? Like what's your visionary for this? So that would be great to include in the pitch going forward, I think.
Amazing. Amazing feedback. I think that finishes our feedback round. Anything that you want to comment? You still have half a minute, Tatiana. Anything you want to say?
No, I really appreciate all the feedback, and for sure I will improve on the pitch. Yeah, and I will add you all to the LinkedIn. Thank you so much.
Awesome, amazing. I've put all the LinkedIn profiles of all the panelists here. We'll go to now. Thank you, Tatiana. We'll go to our next startup, Beatrice Imachi. If we can start with you, tell us where you are connecting from. How are you feeling?
Hi, everyone. Feeling great. Great to see many familiar faces and some new faces. I'm connecting from, well, currently I'm in Romania, but we are a Swedish-American company.
Amazing. Go Romania. You guys just had your election.
Oh my gosh.
Discussing politics in the first
Yes.
In the keynote somewhere, but great. Let's go with your startup. Let me reset the watch and let's go.
Yeah, feeling very relieved and can focus on work after the election.
Awesome.
Okay, so yeah, hi everyone. For those of you that I haven't met before, I'm Beatrice, co-founder and CTO of Imagi. And today I want to talk to you about the future of education. So there is a pressing gap between the rapidly evolving tech landscape and schools' ability to teach AI, computer science, and STEAM skills. Now, the good news is that governments are making this a priority. For example, over 30 US states are now mandating that schools offer computer science, and 11 states require it for graduation, 3 just from the last year. But there's still a big problem. Teachers feel unprepared. 60% say they lack the training to confidently teach computer science, and schools lack engaging tools that make computer science interesting, fun, and accessible for all students, especially those traditionally underserved, for example, girls. That's where Imagi comes in. We provide a research-backed, innovative approach centered on creativity that's proven to engage all students, a platform with pre-made standards-aligned lessons that any teacher, regardless of their coding experience, can use immediately, a programmable device that brings code to life and increases engagement, and professional development and community of support that boosts teachers' confidence. So our approach takes the anxiety out of teaching computer science by ensuring that teachers feel confident, students stay engaged, and schools succeed in meeting the new requirements. We're going fast, and the numbers prove it. Over 80 schools and districts are using Imagi today. A 93% annual retention rate means that once schools adopt Imagi, they stick with it. 56% of our growth is organic, driven by word of mouth and strong demand. And we have a 4.8 star app rating for our app with over 340,000 downloads. Momentum is building, and we're just getting started. We tripled our school-based revenue in 2024. Educator signups are growing quarter over quarter, and student usage is exploding. Globally, K-12 education is a 48 billion market, with countries now mandating AI and computer science education. Our focus today is a 100 million segment where mandates are already in place and spending is accelerating. and the timing couldn't be better. Policy tailwinds are driving a 400% surge. And with backing from tech industry veterans from Discord and Roblox and brands like Butler University that educators trust, we have the team and momentum to make this happen. Our MVP success already translated into 50K ARR with just a 4-person team. And now we're raising 1.5 million to scale our reach and become the go-to computer science and AI learning platform for schools and shape the future of tech education. So I invite you to be part of this journey, and let's build a future where every child is prepared for the future. Thank you.
Amazing. Love it. Exact 3 minutes. Thank you. I see one hand up. Yes, Per, over to you.
Yes, hi Beatrice. We know each other a little from before, and this is a perfect case where you should have the team slide first. You and Dora, you're fantastic entrepreneurs. You have been working so hard for so long on this, and you're fantastic. You should bring yourselves up first, and you should tell us more about your efforts and your traction and what you have actually made and your pivots and everything you've done, because these things are your superpowers. So don't let the audience sit there and not know about your history, because you will make it, but make them understand that you will make it, because you don't give up. You've done this so long now, you will really make it. So just go for it.
Thank you so much, Per.
Thanks.
Thank you. Mehkar.
I haven't met you before, Beatrice, but I kind of agree with Per already that you are a fantastic founder. One can see the passion that you're pitching with. My question would be that you did not talk about the competition that much. So we'd love to know that it's a saturated market, EdTech, and what you're doing. We'd love to hear that you're aware of who else is doing that and why you are the right person to solve this problem. Thank you.
Thank you. Mehkar, Magnus.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I love this area. Since one of the many things I have in my background, I'm also a licensed teacher in exactly those areas, mathematics and physics. So I really love the space, and I think you had a great presentation. In addition to the competition, I would like to see more about, I would also like to know a little bit about what is your sort of current revenue, what is your revenue potential, so how much of the market do you think you could capture? What is the payment business model? I would like to see a little bit more about. So what is the revenue per customer? And then you show the huge number of downloads. I would also get me curious about what is the number of paying customers versus the 4.8 million, or what was the number of downloads? Great, thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Magnus. Michaela.
Hi, Beatrice. Great to see you. So cool to hear about all the success and the growth that you've had. We've known each other for quite a while. I would love to see a little more around the business model, especially you've done some pivots and you've been smart around the pivots. And I would like to see what business models have stuck and the paying partners about that. And also, as you have an app and a physical one as well, you can track the usage. I would love to see the usage from your users, both when it comes to teachers, but also kids. But great pitch.
Thank you so much. We'll take a very quick one, Daniela. Just a minute. Can't hear you yet. Hold on.
Unmute, maybe.
Yeah.
It's a smart first move. Yeah. Hi, Beatrice. Great to see you. I was curious around, because I mean, your ICP selling to schools and teachers, I would imagine is kind of hard and tricky, but I know that you've succeeded already with some kind of secret recipe. So like knowing a bit more about your playbook on your go-to-market and how to scale further, I think would be interesting to also include in your pitch. Because I know it's really, really hard. And again, like it seems like you've found some secret recipe there.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Daniela. And thank you, Beatrice, for a very tight presentation. Julia, over to you. We're moving to Flex Spencer now.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Can you see my screen?
Yes. And where are you connecting from?
I'm
How do you feel?
I'm connecting from Stockholm in Sweden, and I'm sweating because
Okay.
it's
Good. Let's go.
great. So excited to tell you about Flex Spencer. I'm sure to any of you happened that when you open a glue or paint and you close it again, it's gonna dry out after a while. And this happens because whenever you open a product, air comes in contact with the content and the spoilage process will start. It doesn't matter if you close it again. But at Flex Spencer, we have solved this. We bring the power of advanced microfluidic for an airless and precise solution. In fact, often it happens that you throw away the package even when it was just half open. Flex Spencer comes from more than 10 years of research. Me and my colleague met at the Royal Institute of Technology in Sweden, and first we developed Flex Spencer for medical and pharmaceutical application, and then we realized that we can use to any product. We like to say that it's like opening a package without opening it. We already empower a multinational hygiene company to redesign a nozzle, as well as a multinational beverage company to have an at-home dispensing solution for their soda. I know that it's hard to grasp what a valve does. This is my colleague, Yunjin, is our head of prototyping, and any of you knows about eyedropper, right? Often they are sold in single dose, they are very imprecise, they contain more than the necessary, and you use a lot of it. At Flex Spencer, we can obtain the same effect of single dose in one package solution, always with the content going out, without any air and contaminants getting in. It's a one-way valve. And we have a profound impact at every step of the chain. What is our competitive advantage? We don't have any moving part like current valving technology, and also we are monomaterial and cheaper. Our technology comes from diagnostic application in Africa, and monomateriality is a requirement for the European Union. What is our business model? We have a patent and IP that we license, and we first have a joint development agreement with our client, and then after completing milestone, we license our technology to them. And now we are starting a partnership with a Swedish manufacturer to manufacture our first product to the market. We have grown organically, a bit slow. We take angel investment and loan, but mostly we add customer and made our own revenues. But we want to grow and accelerate. Our team is diverse and very creative. And also we had the global recognition just last month, one of our second patent got published in the US, and we have one more to go. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And let's have, yes, Mehkar.
I just saw that you're a Venture Cup winner as well in 2020, so yay for that. But a quick question, if you can answer, super short, that what part of it have you already obtained the IP for this? You have. Yes. What part of this technology? Because I'm just a bit worried that this could be very easily copied and then.
Well, the technology is an opening surrounded by a membrane, but actually it's quite difficult to copy because it comes from many years of mechanical engineering. It's a new problem in mechanical engineering, and is a flexible membrane. So it's the application of a solid phase, a flexible phase, and a liquid phase. And Flex Spencer is really good at knowing how to design this.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Well, if you already have the patent, then I think that's a huge step forward.
Thank you. Feedback. Rita, over to you.
Yeah, so I love it. I miss this product startups, not only tech. I like also the go-to-market strategy that you have presented to us, but I miss a little bit the total market because this is huge. I mean, you can address, I guess, many industries. So perhaps the total market addressable could be something. Yeah.
Yes.
But congratulations. Very nice.
Thank you. Per. Thank you, Rita.
Yes, I repeat myself here. So I've met you and I met QMars several times and many years ago as well. And I say again, your team is full of PhDs and researchers. Bring that forward. I would start with that slide and then I would go directly into the problem slide because you do solve a large problem. But your team is fantastic. And I'd love to reconnect if you wish.
Absolutely. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Per. Christine.
Yes. Could you express a little bit further down the line how the sales process actually are? You have to go to market, but what are you facing and what are you customer facing?
Yes.
10 seconds.
Yes, so far our sales has been is B2B, and we actually mostly made sale by word of mouth. Former executive that heard about us, and even head of innovation that refer us to others. And also we are part of the SO System Accelerator. We feature a CES in Las Vegas. We have a big platform where people get to know us in the deep tech sphere.
Thank you. Thank you. Magnus, we
I'm
can
getting
probably
very
take one
curious.
point.
Yes, I'm getting very curious about the market segmentation. How do you break down the total market into different segments? What is the size of the respective markets? And what is the competitive advantage in each of them? And why do you choose to address the segments that you have?
Yes.
Thank you. Not a question. It's
okay.
okay not to answer. Otherwise, we'll skip the time. Very quick, Tina. Yeah, we'll skip. We'll take 30 seconds. We can't hear you yet. Thank you, Magnus.
So thank you, Julia. I can really also relate to the problem, even though I'm not into this market. So really good job. I also wanted more about the market potential and the different revenue streams, but also understanding the different segments in the markets even better. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think that's great for founders to know. If you get a question, it typically means that information is missing. So for the next time, because pitching is an ongoing process for the next 10, 20 years that you're building this. So keep that in mind for the next pitch. But thank you for all the feedback. We'll move to our next startup now, and the name is Litek. Hi, Sine. Where are you joining from? How are you feeling?
I am feeling very good. I am also in Oslo, so it's quite sunny. And we are enjoying, for sure.
Awesome. Let's go.
Let's go. Okay, sorry about this. I will share my screen right now. Okay, hello everyone. My name is Synne Sauer. I am the CEO and co-founder of Litek. And in Litek, to say it very, very short, we prevent waste plants from going boom, like this one. So in the waste stream, we can find a lot of different metals, and some of them can be extremely valuable, and others can be extremely dangerous. And often they are extremely hard to distinguish between, especially with the available technologies today. That's why we have developed probably the world's smartest metal detector to be able to do so. And if this had been in place 3.5 years ago, the world's most modern waste plant would probably still be operational. So how does it work? Our patent-pending electromagnetic induction spectroscopy technology can differentiate between various metals based on their unique magnetic signature. The sensor is installed beneath the assembly line at waste sorting plants, and it sends and receives electromagnetic signals. And when a conductive object is passing the sensor, it will reflect back a unique fingerprint where we apply AI to distinguish between even complex alloys. And that's exactly what we are doing at our first running pilot at Oslo Municipality. In this pilot, we are looking for laughing gas containers, a growing concern for the municipality that last year alone cost them 4 million euros. By installing our sensor in their plant, we can effectively remove them from the stream, even when they are hidden inside plastic bags, as you can see in this video. So far, we have removed more than 200 laughing gas bottles. We have a great recall, meaning that we correctly classify almost all bottles we detect, and we have therefore proved that we can potentially save the municipality 4 million euros. We are now in negotiation to close our first commercial deal with them and charge them a 10% of the potential yearly saving, aka 400,000 euros in a yearly recurring revenue. So we are working with huge customers. And we have a great team to do so. We have backgrounds within physics, astrophysics. We have previous founders that build amazing sensor technology companies from before. And we have the industry expertise with us. And now we are raising 2 million euros. We have previously raised around 1.7 million in governmental grants and our pre-seed round. And to use this money, or to take this money, we want to go to market with our first proof of product and further develop the technology to be the greatest metal detector in the whole world. So I hope there are some people that like to talk trash here, because that's one of my favorite topics. And I am very excited to hear your questions.
Amazing. That was a tad over the 3 minutes mark, but it's good to go. Let's have some questions. Let me see if I can. Yes, Per, over to you.
Yes, hi, Sine. I think this was very interesting and new to me. But if you want to raise 2 million euros, you also have to give an impression of the financial projection. You told about the business model and what you charge, but you didn't sum it up to what will be the total revenues the next 7 years or so. And you will need that for 2 million euros. Maybe we can make some deal somehow. So I gather the gold you sort out.
I'll be open to that.
Thank you so much, Christine.
Yes, a great pitch. I have met you actually once in Gothenburg in Go West, and really enjoyed your pitch even then. But I liked to hear a presentation on go-to-market and which markets to start with, and yeah, the first customer after your first customer.
Indeed. I'll be happy to share it with you in another meeting.
Thank you. Anette?
Really nice to meet you, Sine. I think that I met one of your partners in Go West. Yes, so, and I really like the opportunity that you're creating. I understand that the Gothenburg as a municipality has a huge problem in actually recycling these bottles as well. Is that something that you are considering, or are you just collecting the trash in itself? That's my thing, because that's the bigger problem, I think. But very nice to meet you. Look forward to hear more.
Thank you. Magnus, we have 1 minute or more.
This was very cool. So I would like to I was missing a little bit of what does the competition look like? So is there something else that they are using today, or they're doing nothing and just take the big cost? And I understand that they're doing nothing, and that is great. And also I was curious to see exactly what does your product look like. We saw the entire sort of recycling sort of facility, but I didn't really understand what exactly does your product look like as a part of this entire thing, and therefore also was difficult to judge sort of what is the cost of your technology and what is the margin on each sale.
Thank you so much, Magnus. Hannah.
Well, actually, a great pitch, Sine. Everyone's taken my questions. Actually, basically, I have had the same remarks as Per and Magnus and Anette and Christina. But I met also Sine a couple of years ago, so I'm so impressed with how you're developing everything. So good job. But yeah, same comments as the other ones.
Thank you. Michaela? I can't hear you, Michaela.
Sorry. Hi, Sine. Great pitch. Love the humor in it. It makes it a lot of fun to listen to you. And I think that most of the people have also taken my questions, would like to see a little bit more around the financing. What does this cost you to set up? The go-to-market was also a question that already came up, and I was thinking, like Anette, like how can you close the loop if you started already waste sorting? How can you actually close the loop? So the bigger picture and the different applications that this technology can have. And you should apply to time to raise.
Thank you. Let's go to our next founder now. Thank you, Sene. I think our next. Thank you. We have 4 more pitches. I'm just telling the jury here, we might stretch by 5 to 7 minutes. And we are trying our best to squeeze all the time. Never Another, Christina, over to you. Tell us where you are joining from, how you're feeling.
Hi everyone. I'm Christina. I'm joining from Copenhagen in Denmark. I'm very excited to be here. Yeah.
Awesome. Let's go.
Does this work?
Yes, this works.
Yes. Okay, great. So, hi, I'm Christina. I'm a co-founder of Never Another. Bras are mindlessly mass-produced for a narrow selection of body types. Standard bra sizing is based on only 2 measurements, forcing 2 out of 3 women to settle for a bra with the wrong size, wrong fit, and terrible comfort. 130 million women in the EU suffer daily discomfort from bras that are not designed for their body type, making them feel like there's something wrong with their bodies. Never Another offers a digitally tailored bra made to fit every size and body type perfectly. We launched our product this April, just before our TV appearance on the Danish Lions Den, and we've currently sending out our second batch of orders, and we got our first Trustpilot review last week, 5 stars, which we are pretty excited about. So Never Another's technology works as a digital tailor, intelligently mass customizing wire-free bras. In our webshop, customers type in 4 body measurements and their breast type. Our proprietary algorithm calculates her individual bra size and shape, and an industry standard made-to-measure software modifies the bra to give it that perfect fit. The bra has a built-in soft wire instead of a metal wire to match support with comfort. The bra is automatically produced on standard digital knitting machines, ensuring worldwide scalability as we grow. This is how we produce almost hands-free, eliminating overproduction and textile waste. Every product made is already sold. Never Another bras sell at €170 with a profit margin of €38. We sell online, made to order, and direct to consumer. Our unit costs are kept at a mass production level, and we have no capital tied up in product inventory. We've entered a European bra market of €11.5 billion, targeting women in their 20s to 40s, a segment worth €6.6 billion. Our competition is manually tailored bras, which are much more expensive and takes months to deliver. Never Another delivers a tailored bra in less than 3 weeks. We're a team of 2 specialists. Ditte is a marketing economist who truly understands human needs, and I am a product designer driven by getting innovative products to the market. We also have a small team of skilled angel investors and advisors. To expand our product range, our tech and our team, also to scale up our marketing, we're currently raising €200,000 to €300,000. We'd love to chat, so please reach out if there's anything on your mind. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's see. I don't see the panelists here. We need to take the presentation off.
Should I
Hold on.
stop sharing?
Yeah, that's great.
Yes.
I already
Annette.
took my sound off, so I can just start.
Yes. Please go ahead,
Thank you for a really nice presentation. It took me a little while to understand what you were doing, even though you had very showcasing pictures. And that's one comment, but I really, really appreciate your design kind of way of doing it and your comment. You have a really specific tagline that totally popped out, and it was every product made is already sold. And that is some of the strongest message that you can send. So please keep that as a really strong tagline for the future, because it's a really exactly what's all about. All the women understand the bra challenge. It's like stupid, but this is really the way. If it works, it works, and it seems that there is some unit economics that would work there as well. So I really appreciate your pitch today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Rita.
Yeah, wow, congratulations. I loved it. Compelling purpose that many times is forgotten in the retail industry. And this is a little bit what I miss, the commercial viability in the retail industry or in the textile industry. Yeah, how this is going to be adopted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Per?
Yes, at first I was a bit worried about your name, Never Another, but then when I realized what Anette said about the tagline, then I sighed of relief. So I agree with Anette. Don't leave your logo without that tagline. The tagline is fantastic. And then it's so easy to be clever and smart, but you have probably thought of this so many times already. But it's based on another company I'm working with. And if you are at the point where you need a first segment which could withstand a bit higher prices before you get higher volumes, and you've probably thought of it, but I'm thinking of breast cancer surgery patients. Where you could individualize stuff for them, and it would be so incredibly valuable. But hopefully you've already thought about it. But thanks a lot and good luck.
Thank
you so much, Per. Tina.
Yeah, really good pitch, and I think many women can relate. So it's a big problem. I'm also curious about you mentioned the product range, but also is this like for everyday wear? Do you do sport? Will you do sport bras? How does the future look like? That would be interesting to understand within the product range. And also that like the production capacity. Is it one machine today? I didn't get that. Is it how is that? That would be interesting to know more about.
Thank you so
Noted.
much,
Thank
Tina.
you.
Thank you. Michaela. I can't hear you, Michaela.
Again, same mistake every time. Hi, Christina. Great pitch. I love it a lot. I've worked myself in the fashion industry for some time. And I like that you do customize, that you don't do overproduction, and that you sell before you produce. I was a little bit confused if the technology of producing the bra, both the software and the hardware, is your own, or are you leasing it from somewhere? Because the technology to actually produce it is, I think, super valuable in that case. And for the price being 107 euro for a bra, I would like to be sure that it actually fits me well and that it's comfortable. So how do you deal with returns when it's customized for one person? So that's a little bit about my thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have run out of time. Daniela, any very specific, very short feedback?
No, I just wanted to real quick. I just wanted to say I love the pitch. I think this is a huge market. I'm super curious about like the brand building aspects of, especially when you go directly to consumers and how you think about that. I think there are tons of opportunities. Also, like how you create returning customers and how you can expand your lifetime value on these customers. I think there's so much to be done there. But I'd be super happy to connect after this.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have 3 more startups to go. This will run till 8:08 almost, not 8:07. I'm just calculating now. But let's go to Scape, our next startup. Thank you so much, Christina. How are you feeling and where are you connecting from, Hele?
Hi, I'm feeling very happy.
Okay.
Connecting from Stockholm today.
Awesome. Let's go.
Thank you. So, hi everyone. we built a company called Scape in Latin America. So I'm in Stockholm, but the company is based out of Latin America. It's a B2B2C wellness marketplace. I've been in the wellness industry for over 15 years, starting in the US and then moving to Mexico, working out from Mexico. And we identified 3 major problems in the wellness industry, a bit based on my experience of owning and operating spas. One on the B2C area, after COVID, wellness exploded and people were looking for easier, more affordable ways to include wellness in their lives. On the B2B side, we have one side, which is corporate wellness, and they want to attract employees and talent and retain them, and wellness is one of the programs they look for. And then we have the third pillar of what we built, which is an on-demand program for hotels, because spa today is a must in the hotel industry, but it's a big pain point for hotels because it's usually not a profit center. So this is an industry I knew really well from before. And we built an app that is basically, it's called the Uber of spas in Latin America. So we operate in 50 cities in 4 countries in Latin America: Mexico, Chile, Colombia, and Dominican Republic. On the B2B side, we raised our first round to enter B2B in middle of 2023. And we've started a corporate wellness program where we incorporate wellness into different companies. And we also have a large growing segment of digital gifting, which in Latin America is a segment that is almost inexistent. There's very few options. So gifting wellness has been a very popular gift with companies. We started B2B last year in 2024, and we've closed about 250 companies. Some are still in early stages, but it shows that it's a big market out there. Why now? Because the market is really large. It's a $1.7 trillion market, and the growth rate is 13% per year. I think everyone after COVID, it's become a very large market. We also monetize marketing in different ways. We've become very much what's called a brand today in Latin America. And we monetize. We are, for example, American Express partner. We are partner with a lot of high-end skincare brands, Formula One, etc. This is our sort of rocket ship. This is where a lot of the round we're raising today is going into. This went into hypergrowth, and we needed to build a better tech solution for the on-demand hotel industry partner. And we're now in talks with Airbnb in the US because they just launched services. So we are talking about integrating. We closed with $4 million GMV in 2024, $1.8 million revenue. Our take rate is average for 46%. This is our fantastic team, but I'm running out of time. And we're raising $1 million in this round to open the first US city and to build the platform for the hotel industry. Thank you very much. This is my contact info.
Thank you so much, Helle. Let's see. Yes, Michaela.
Yes, hi Helle. I'm so happy to see you here today. I think your metrics are always super impressive. Latin America is such a large market. It's so big compared to any numbers that we see in Sweden and in Europe. So really congratulations on the traction and the success that you've had so far. I think that your pitch was a little bit confusing with too many business models and maybe a long problem explanation. So maybe simplify it when you pitch 3 minutes. Just take one business model, maybe the on-demand spa, which is intuitive, easy to understand, and straightforward, and focus on that. And then when you dig deeper as an investor, then you will find out the other success stories and the great brands that you have behind you. So just that feedback. Thank you.
Thanks, Michaela.
Thank you, Michaela. Cynthia.
Hello, Heja. Thank you so much. I like it. I like very much what you're developing. I think I agree with what Michaela said on choosing. I missed a little bit about competition, even if it's indirect competition, because somehow these people are solving these problems in a different way. So I think this is important to add. And also when you, and I know that you were running out of time, so the part of financials and funding, you had to hurry a little bit. But explaining a little bit also on the funding part, what you're using the funds for, it's important. But congratulations, what you're doing so far. Very good. Thanks.
Thank you. Great feedback.
Thank you. Any further feedback from the panel?
I just can say a few words. Hi, Helle.
Yes.
Great to meet you again. I just wanted to say that we should catch up. I know that it's been long overdue. So
yeah, I'll
Great
email you. Thanks.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. We don't seem to have more feedback. Hele, thank you for being here. We'll move to our second last startup. Briseida, it's over to you with Sea Growth.
Hi. Hi.
Where are you connecting from and how are you
I
feeling?
am connecting from Reykjavik, and I'm very proud to say that we have sun and 20 degrees here in Iceland.
In Reykjavik, 20 degrees.
In Reykjavik, 20 degrees. I'm very happy I can say that. But so.
Awesome.
It really is, yeah. So you can see my screen?
Yes, let's go.
Okay, so I'm just starting. Yes, hi, I am Briseida, and I'm from the Icelandic biotech company Sea Growth, and we are going to develop seafood out of cells. So we are, it's not working here, sorry. Yes, here we go. The problem, I'm not going to dwell long on that because everybody knows this problem. It's close to my heart coming from a sea nation, but the bottom line is we need alternatives in the food production if we were going to have enough food for the next generations. And what we are doing, our solution is cultivated fish. And thereby we are taking the cell cultivation of food to Iceland. And from the 200 companies that are working in this industry, we are the only one that's starting with eggs and isolating the cell out of eggs, whereas everybody else is taking it direct from the animal. So we are now at that stage, the cell culture, where we are looking for the fastest growing and best health, or the healthiest cells to take them further to the bioreactors and scaling up, where they will grow and multiply and grow into a biomass. And with that biomass, we will then go in collaboration with food producers, creating delicious cultivated fish for you to enjoy. So our go-to-market, before we can scale up, we will start with restaurants and catering, just to have also that we can also have feedback from the consumers, and we will also be then going into collaboration with plant-based seafood, making hybrid products, and later on we will have it 100% cultivated products, working with food processing companies. But we are looking very much into the health-conscious consumers because we know what goes into the bioreactors. We know what comes out of them. We don't have any contamination of quicksilver or microplastics or antibiotics that you find in wild-caught fish. And we can also add later on omega-3 or vitamins. So we will really have a clean superfood with sustainability, because we will be doing this here in Iceland using green energy as well with the clean water. So superfood is something that will come out of this when we are ready. To talk about our team founders, this is me working as CEO, and Alexander. We both have background in life science. Alexander has been working for 20 years in cell research, and he will be overseeing everything that happens in the lab and with the cells. I will be taking care of everything else, and we are now starting to search for the people to working with us in the laboratorium. And on our side, we have a great team from different sectors with expertise in innovation, chefs, and biotechnology. We are searching for now, coming from this 500,000 first stage, we need 3 million for our scale-up states to cover that. Also starting to prepare that with grants from Europa. And I think I have my 3 minutes. Thank you very much. This is Sheikh in almost 3 minutes.
Thank you so much, Briseida. Just a minute. Let me fix this. Hold on. I can't see anything, so just a minute. Yes, now maybe. Rita, over to you.
Yeah, hi Briseida. We met very recently at Iceland Innovation Week, so the only feedback that I have, because I know them quite well for the rest of the panel and the interest on them in investing, is that the founding team is amazing. So this is my feedback.
Thank you so much, Rita. Magnus.
Hello, great. This is very interesting. We have seen a lot of similar things when it comes to meat, but this is the first time I see it when it comes to fish. And my I would like to know a little bit more about that I was missing. What is your final product? Is that like a fish, like a fillet, or is it kind of sort of minced fish meat, or what is the final product? And then I'm also curious to know about what is the impact on greenhouse gases or climate, CO2, versus real fish.
Yeah, if I have time. So we are not doing fillet, we are doing like fish mash, fish mince, which will be made then product like something you can use for the pasta or for the sushi, something like that. So we are not working with fish fillet. This method is around we have like half of that what wild caught fish is using in the CO2 emission, and the numbers we have behind that are not taking into calculation the sustainable energy that we will be using, because we are probably the only one in the world at the moment using green energy for this industry, for this development.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's take one quick feedback point. Tina. Thank you, Magnus.
Yeah, my only thank you pitch, this is big need, but my question was, is there any like certification to deliver this food to restaurants? Are there any like guarantees you need in order for it to be ready?
So any certification or guarantees needed? Tina, your voice was breaking up. To deliver to restaurants,
sorry.
Any certifications or guarantees that you need?
We will need, of course, we need to go to the regulation, but we are on the second wave of this industry. So there are companies that all are self-cultivating meat and seafood that already are paving the way, going through the regulations. But so they have started to work with that. But of course, like every other new food, we will have to have market approval for our product.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Briseida. We move to our last startup now. Marika, over to you with Sophia. And okay, yes. Let's go. Where are you connecting from? How are you feeling?
Hi, I'm connecting from Switzerland. So behind of me is actually Liechtenstein, then on the opposite side of the street. I am originally from Finland, 20 years here in Switzerland, and feeling energized.
Awesome. Let's go.
Let me just share the screen.
Yeah.
All right. Are you able to see that?
No.
No. What did I do then wrong? Okay. I get an error message. Why is that?
Okay. Nobody's.
And again, screen sharing has failed to start. Oh no. Is there any?
We did a practice session, I think, but maybe it was not your computer that we checked.
Probably.
Try again.
It still gets error. How can I?
It happens. We were discussing technology can fail
What
in the
if
last 1%. Yeah.
Still. will not. What if I have it like?
What's the error? What does it say?
It says, I'm just now clicking again. Screen sharing has failed to start. Please try again later. Error code 117001.
Oh, that much techie I am not, but seems to be maybe there is some permission error on your computer because all others were sharing. So.
Oh, this could be.
You want to log off and log on, and any panelists that need to drop off, that's okay. I'll stick around, but come back.
How can I sorry, how could
log
I
off? Just disconnect Zoom and come back. Takes half a minute.
Okay.
Go back to the main link to connect. Sorry, I'll stick around. If anybody has time, they can stick around. We had committed the time to the founders, but I think very interesting pitches today. Yeah. Very different segments. We try to get kind of all of the verticals as much as possible, so that.
I like the mixes because I usually just listen into hardware and deep tech, sustainable innovation. So obviously this is of big interest, and I'm very happy to see that several of the ventures are going for the long haul, so to speak. I met with ImagineMob, I mean, it's so many years back. Or ImagineLab, sorry, at the Ericsson 1, I think it was at that point, and they just came out from their first workshop, so they have pivoted several times, but they're still going strong and they're still selling. So I think that with 340,000 downloads, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
and
that's
the schools
great.
are coding. I mean, it's really of extremely great tenacity they do. So I like that a lot. Are we deciding
Also like the different
stages? No? Yeah, exactly. Are we deciding on a winner today? No.
No, we don't. And I think that's something, I don't know. In Nutty Ventures, we'll try to create something that we can and should not
here
have.
she is. Marika is here.
Yeah.
I'm here, and again trying, but could I just do it without the slide then? Would that be
maybe
fine?
Speak out.
I'll just speak
Go
out.
for it.
So
please
okay.
go for it.
Hold this
so
beautiful.
3 minutes.
There you
Let me
go.
just, because then I need to check that I stay in the time. So we are transforming the real estate market for commercial rentals. So this is very old-fashioned, manual, also maybe sounding dull industry. However, there's a big money over there. So when we look into globally, we talk about like billions of trillions. But however, we are focusing on more niche area for small rentals. So now we are going into gig economy. We have freelancers, we have hybrid offices, and also bigger offices are building smaller hubs. And they actually struggle to find those because the market for the agencies to rent out is not interesting. Fees are too low, and that obviously creates then a lack and gap in the industry. So owners cannot rent, agencies are not interested, and the renters don't find those. So we are building a solution based on artificial intelligence, algorithms. And if you, for example, just imagine ChatGPT, how much fun that is to go there, type in search, and how it crawls and finds interesting links. We are going to utilize such an AI, and also actually making things even more efficient and let's say cost efficient, utilizing smart contracts, and again, a lot of automation, digitalization. So making sure that small commercial real estates are actually captured in one platform, and very efficiently, and also making it fun that people are utilizing it. Now I have the minute, and I would say that the engine behind everything is our amazing team. So we have a huge passion here. We have 3 founders who founded a few years ago, who have been resiliently focusing on working very tirelessly with different real estate agents, finding out that what are the key issues and what is the gap, what is needed. And also we have been partnering with a company here in Switzerland and also in Finland. The team brings international market experience, and we also bring a lot of tech experience, and we have also academic from a professor. And I think we are looking with this team now to get 125,000 euros to invest for the launch of our MVP2, which we just finalized. I think if you are...
Yeah, thank you so much, Marika. Let's see if we could have some spontaneous feedback. And first of all, thank you for presenting and moving ahead. Like it's amazing that you just went ahead. Love it. Sometimes tech can go wrong. Yeah. So if we have any feedback, we can take that.
I didn't find my hand, so I'm just going to shout out. Thank you so much for being so bold, and then go ahead and actually continue to do the presentation without the slides. It's a little bit difficult to understand, and you were also a little bit, stressed. You should just breathe and then just talk about the stuff that you're actually doing and not follow the slides. Just do a quicker pitch and not be so strong and tight around the pitch deck that you had, because we couldn't see it, so it didn't matter to us. But you have passion for what you do, and you have some good customer relations, so just continue to build on that. You did really well, so good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anette. Michaela?
Yeah, I also want to just say, Marika, well done. I actually like the approach to make it as ChatGPT so easy as possible to search for an apartment to rent. And I also love how you talk about your team. That is super important to anyone investing in you, the team in early stages, and you lift them up really, really well. So keep doing that and keep working hard. Congratulations on a good pitch.
Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. With that, we will close today's day. I'll just paste a link for our group on WhatsApp, which is growing now, where we post all the events, funding, and all those news. So everybody is welcome to join that. A big thanks to all our panelists today in the last session. Anette, Cynthia, Magnus, Tina, Michaela, and Hannah, thank you for being here, and others who were here. Venchakap was here, and Per was here, and Daniela was here. Thank you for taking the time out. Have an amazing evening. This was recorded, so some of this will be coming out in the next week's time. But amazing.
Thank you for fixing it, Naimol. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take good care of yourselves.
Thank you.
That's all from me.
Thank you.
Bye.